here to give my opinion and carry in.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, whatever is trending in these good old streets regarding anything that has to do with entertainment. We chat about it on this good old show of mine. So, before we get started with today's show, can you please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button, and also be sure to smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And yeah, I was going to give y'all a show yesterday, but child, the day got away from me. So I wasn't able to come on and do a show. So I was like, let me just prep everything, set it for the next day. And now I'm like, well prepared. We are here. There was other things that was coming out. And then there was some shows that I had to take out because I was like, I don't think this is going to be important to y'all. So it's a tight show today. So we're going to get into some things, honey. So we're going to talk about the latest on Diddy. We're going to talk about Shyne is actually speaking out on Diddy. After all them years, he did that bid for him, a good 10 beans, 10 years. That's a 10 beans. But anyway, he did a good 10 years for Diddy. Now he's speaking out because now that Diddy's behind bars, he got a whole lot to say. We're going to get into it. Plus, I don't know if you guys have seen Monsters, the American horror, not was it? I think it's I always get American Horror Story, American Crime Story, all them shits, all them too many of them damn shows. Ryan Murphy, you got too many damn shows on TV. But anyway, the Lyle and Erik Menendez bio series, is currently airing on Netflix, and one of the brothers, Erik Menendez, is speaking out against the show. So I was like, if y'all haven't seen it, I'll fill y'all in on what I've seen so far. I only watched half the season so far, so I haven't seen the whole thing. But one of the brothers, Erik Menendez, is not happy with Ryan's interpretation of the events that happened that is playing out in this show. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Tina Knowles, the other day, she was dragged for going in on the queen of country, Dolly Parton. Now she took to social media and said that was not her, that apparently the response that she made was fake. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, child, Katy Perry's 143 came out on Friday, and just like I knew was going to happen, she was going to get trashed by the critics. So we got to talk about that. Plus my overall review. I had to even throw my review up in there. I put it on social media, and it was a cackle because everybody was responding and liking and all that other stuff. And I appreciate y'all for your feedback. Whether you liked it or you didn't like it, I do, all is welcome up in here. So yeah, of course, during the show, we talk about it. Y'all can drop y'all opinion of what y'all thought about the album in the comments, and we'll have a rapport as the show concludes. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, I have the numbers. Shout out to that grape juice because they be on point with the numbers in regards of how her show, how the album is doing on the charts. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Gwen Stefani dropped her new single, and apparently a lot of people think she's throwing shade at her ex-husband Gavin Rosdale. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, we got some Jennifer Lopez news. We can't go a day without talking about Miss Jennifer. So one of the topics is two of them. One of the topics we're gonna talk about, you know, apparently Matt Damon may be team Jennifer rather than his bestie Ben. We'll break that story down. Plus, they're trying to say that Jennifer out here numbing the pain of, the issue that she had with Ben with liquor, that she drinking and things. Remember, she wasn't a drinker before, but now she a drinker. Oh yeah, and the child, I don't know if y'all heard, but Janet Jackson is trending all over social media for living under a rock. So she said some stuff about Kamala Harris, and the internet is dragging her. So we're going to talk about that. And rightfully so. When you say something dumb, expect to get dragged. Nobody is beyond reproach, especially on this damn show. Plus, we got to talk about Lady Gaga's father endorsing Donald Trump. And Candace Owens is claiming that TikTok is turning men into homosexuals. And then last but certainly not least, T.S. Madison is pitching the idea for Drag Race, an all-star season. And I have I got a lot of questions because she just said something vague. And I'm like, I got questions, sis, because the math ain't mathing. So, as I said before, please do me a solid, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And hold on, because one of the things is, as I'm talking about Madison, I forgot to bring up the TikTok video that I wanted y'all to see. So hold on for that, because I was like, well, I'm in the middle of doing the show. I didn't bring that up. So I got to pull that up real quick. Is that it? I hate when I'm not prepared. And I was prepared before I did the show, though. Oh, I found it. Please, huh? Oh, nope. I got it. 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 Okay. Oh, I see we got comments. Please hold. Oh. I said Jason Adams said, thank you. I guess we're putting the show together. You're welcome. Roro is in the building. Good morning. Hey, Shirley. Oh, from the UK. I've noticed I've gotten a lot of UK fans on this channel. So shout out to y'all. I like that y'all like this messy old show. But anyway, so let's get into some things. Let me hit my banner and let's get into this latest Diddy news. Like, there's a lot of Diddy news and stuff that we need to talk about, so I'm going to lump it all together. I didn't want to create a bunch of banners and stuff for it, or lower thirds, I should say. Because I'm like, it's going to drive me freaking crazy trying to put all of this together in regards to that. Because I'm just going to tell y'all everything about the one fell swoop and then do with it as you will. So yeah, let's get into the latest in the news. So y'all already know he's currently still in jail. His attorneys have been trying to repeal and get him out numerous times. The judges is like, no, he is danger. He is a danger to society. They do not want him getting out of jail. They feel like that he is a danger. He'll try to intimidate the witnesses and stuff that they potentially have. And I don't think he knows who all the witnesses they have. I'm sure he's well aware Cassie is probably going to be called to the stand. But in regards to everybody else who may be a part of that, I don't think he has any idea. But when your money is as long as Diddy's is, and he spent 30 plus years of his career using his money, his power, his influences, and his connections to get whatever he needs to get out of people and to shut them up. Because there was a story that came out, I believe it was the Jasmine brand. They went up saying something that he was paying hush money to people over the years for their silence in regards to things that he had did to them. They were saying rent money or whatever the situation is. I mean, these days rent is kind of expensive. Not kind of, it is. The rent is too damn high. Whatever happened to that man that was in New York was running on that? The rent is too high. I was like, it really is. So I can understand if you want to shut somebody up, you paying a rent and they rent is like $3,000 a month. So with his money, power, and influence and all the other stuff, a lot of people been wanting to, he may try to use a lot of that intimidation when he gets out of court. So they leaving his behind in jail down in Brooklyn because I believe he is in the same Brooklyn jail as Austin Wolf. It's funny how I realized that the other day when we talked about this the last time. I was like, damn. And then everybody, because they talk about the horrible conditions. I'm like, well, damn, is that everybody's go-to when you're a certain person of privilege? And it reminds me also, and we're going to talk about it later, of the Lyle and Erik Menendez show that's playing on Netflix. And Lyle goes, "Oh, I can't stay in here." He was like, "Well, that's where you going." And the CO pushes his ass in that cell. Like, it's sort of like this it's the privilege of it all, where you just run around thinking, "Oh, because I've been living, drinking, Cristal and eating caviar and sitting on yachts for 3 decades." But then when you do a crime and you still in your little highfalutin bubble, and in reality ends up hitting your behind in that second, and you looking at that 8x10, and you like, "Oh, I ain't going in there." They got roaches in there. Oh, well, that's where you gonna be living until the time being, until your court case come up, and then when the trial is done and your ass is guilty, because we all know Diddy guilty, then that's when you're gonna be. You better get used to it, because that's when you're gonna be for the next 3 decades or however long they plan on getting. But I think he may get life. But knowing him and being as old as he's gonna end up he's already old. But when he gets to a certain age, because I feel like they said 15 years of life, whatever the case is, but ain't gonna get out till he's in his 80s, because he's in his mid 50s now. So there have been stories that's coming out in regards to him saying that he's been placed on, self harm watch. That S word. Certain words unfortunately you can't say on YouTube. Y'all are so irritating with y'all rules, by the way. on the things we can say and can't say because of algorithms and then demonetization and all that. So it's a stupid political game we have to play, unfortunately. So we got to get creative with certain words. So, but then his attorney said that he's not gonna harm himself. What it is that they place people on that when they're in those type of conditions or whatever the case is. So apparently he's not trying to unalive himself, but then they're keeping an eye on him just in case. Because I have a feeling somebody going Jeffrey Epstein his behind. I do not believe Jeffrey Epstein took his own life. I believe somebody did that to him because he knew too damn much. And I do believe that Diddy is in that same position. I also agree in certain points where some people were saying, to an extent, when it comes to black men being the scapegoat for a lot of situations. Well, here's the thing. If y'all weren't willing to be a pawn in that chess game, then you wouldn't be having to take all the fall. I do believe that there are white, powerful people in those same positions that they have given him the money, the resources, the wherewithal to do your little freak offs and do the trafficking and all that other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that there's people in higher positions that's doing the same thing that Diddy's doing. The fact of the matter is, and I think that, you know what, black people, you need to realize this, while this is a country where we sit and love to talk about opportunity and you can get this if you work hard, you have to realize that when it comes to people of color versus them white folks over there, we cannot do the same things that they get away with and get to do. They get to, unless it's so extreme that you can't get out of it, like a Harvey Weinstein or any of those type of situations, then you'll do time. But when we having this type of argument, you cannot be using Diddy as the litmus test. That man has done a lot of crazy, trashy, disgusting, despicable things to a lot of people, and he deserves to go under the jail for the things that he's done. So I don't think that he should be the litmus test. So when you got dirty neck mother fathers like that big back comedian, I forget his damn name, but his beard be looking so damn nappy and his breath look like I can smell it through the damn screen. Phase on Love, I think that's his damn name. Him and Bussy Badass, y'all should not be the ones running up on social media trying to windmill hard for Diddy. That ain't y'all play. Y'all need to mind the business that pays y'all, because then we gonna start looking at y'all and then calling your stuff out. So yeah, he's at Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center. So that's where he is at the moment. So they said, as Combs remains in a Brooklyn cell, a man named Jonathan Oddie. Now this is where we're gonna get into some things, because this man was spilling tea. That's the one that we was talking about. That's on the cover. See, that's him right there. That's Mr. Oddie, Jonathan Oddie. Because now we're gonna get into the sex stuff, the stuff that he was talking about that Diddy was making him do, because he's a slave, confirmed slave. So basically, here's what he said. He claimed that he had relations with the rapper and Cassie, and he's in jail right now too. Spilling tea. Damn, Diddy be messing with a lot of people that's in jail. Remember, he had to pay that $100 million to that man who's also in jail, but then they said they put that money on hold. So that was a good thing for Diddy's thing. But who knows? Maybe he'll get it down the line. Now, they said Oddie made the wild claims in a 2018 video where he was being questioned by Florida investigators in an unrelated case. So he had spilled this tea 6 years ago. Now, in the police interrogation video, Oddie said that he was the rapper's first slave. He said he had relations with Cassie and Sean. He would pleasure himself and tell me what to do to Cassie. I was like a sex slave. Okay, for him, that's what I was. Oddie also made claims the hip-hop industry included a cabal of rich people who moved drugs like liquid booger sugar in their private jets. He alleged he took the liquid booger sugar with Ventura and Combs. I wonder what the hell is liquid booger sugar? Like, what it look like? Do you inject it like a in a syringe, like you do heroin, or do you they put it in like one of those? Remember, like when you do like shots in the club or something or another, they put it in like one of those tubes, or they have it like in a little fake needle where you shoot it in your mouth. I wonder if they do it like that. I don't be doing the more crazy party drugs. Like, I had my time back in the in the 2000s. That's when I was doing my partying. So I don't be doing all these little fancy schmancy. Child, you couldn't look. The only thing I was doing, well, besides booger sugar, before they was putting all that craziness in it like y'all do now, I would not do the drugs that y'all doing today, because y'all be trying to kill people out here. Y'all got everything but the actual ingredients in things. So I just stick to the liquor. Y'all be taking the weed, y'all be taking the booger sugar. Don't even get me started. I ain't doing nobody's heroin. I'm not becoming a Methodist. That's putting the meth word in four letters in caps. Because I ain't doing that. I ain't a Methodist. So I ain't doing all them other drugs. The GHB, I ain't doing, no ma'am. So they said that Adi said that he caught the herp from their alleged trysts. He also said Combs would use booger sugar during their sexual escapades. Now, while Adi's bizarre confessions was initially dismissed by the cops, internet sleuths were connecting his claims with the allegations Ventura made in her November 2023 lawsuit against Combs. Now, in the suit, the singer alleged Combs, put paws on her frequently and forced her to engage in sex acts with male prostitutes, which he also called freak-offs and sometimes recorded. Federal prosecutors federal prosecutors have also claimed Combs engaged in sex parties, as mentioned in Ventura's lawsuit. The defendant arranged freak-offs with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, including employees of his business, and their hotel rooms where they were staged often sustained significant damages, according to the prosecution memo seeking to deny Combs' bail. Adi, who described himself as an investor in what, Peen? Was reportedly also a male stripper, and he also did adult performance on camera with other people. Y'all know what it is. Rhymes with corn. He was arrested in May 2018 after he allegedly opened fire inside the Trump National Doral Miami Resort. Child, where did he be finding these people? Now, police said Adi he barged into the lobby of the Trump National Doral Golf Club carrying an American flag and shouting about the former president. According to the police, he fired at a chandelier before exchanging gunfire with officers who shot him in the legs. You want to know something? Why do I feel like I've spoken about this guy before? I feel like I've done a story on him. This sounds familiar, especially the part where they was about a guy that stormed into a golf club spot with Trump and started shooting, and then the officer shot. I feel like I've told this story in the past. But anyway, so it says Otter remains at a detention center in Miami-Dade County and is facing multiple charges, including attempted red rum of law enforcement officers, armed burglary, and armed grand theft, according to the court records. Meanwhile, the diddler is also on a no bail hold and has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Now, one of his attorneys, this pain in the behind, he need to fire his behind, because Mark Agnifilio, however the hell you say his last name, I think it's Agnifilio, said they plan to file another motion. Y'all need to just get the damn thing up. He's not getting out of jail, sir. Like, I don't think you know what you're doing. And I don't care how much pleading and begging and ranting off at the mouth you trying to channel. Who you trying to be, Gloria Allred? Like, it just feels like you just want to do all these press conferences. You want to get in front of the cameras and rant and rave and run off with your mouth. You're not getting your client out of jail. He's not getting out. New York, we don't play when it comes to certain criminal activities. So your client is staying in jail. So I don't care how many motions you file. It's going to be a no. Now, Combs is being kept, as we said earlier, in Brooklyn's jail special housing unit while he waits for his trafficking case to go to trial. Now, it has been described as hell on earth and has been plagued with murders and self-unalivings, ever since it opened in 1994. But it seems like whenever it comes to high-profile celebrities who wind up in jail, and especially in that jail in Brooklyn, that always seems to be the overall complaint from the attorney, is that the conditions are horrible. Like I said earlier, that is the same jail that they have the adult film star Austin Wolf in for his CP cases that he's got going on, because there's another one that decided to keep evidence in the form of a tape. Well, it's files, A lot of us are up to date with our things. Diddy's still out here doing VHSs and things. Like, this is 1992. So, yeah, that's the latest on that tea. And now, what was the ultimate gag? So if y'all really want to gag, apparently, remember when we talked about before that there was a book that was supposed to be coming out in regard with Kim Porter? And that apparently it was like spilling a whole lot of tea what was going on in Kim Porter's, that she had kept a whole lot of evidence and things over the years of things she's seen, and there was going to be some stuff going against Diddy. I remember hearing some people saying that they don't believe it's true, that it was made up, that there's no book that came out, that she didn't write nothing. That's what the friend said. Well, apparently the book is out, and the book is spilling a lot, including Diddy having sexual relations with a teenage pop star. And I ain't talking about a girl. We talking about boys. And I believe it. And the internet sleuths was sleuthing, and they pretty much kind of figured out who it was. And I'm gonna tell y'all, because it had me thinking too, and we was all on the same page. So yeah, Miss Mamas is talking beyond the grave apparently, because it says a new book accuses Sean Diddy Combs of assaulting his late girlfriend, taping himself having relations with a male teenage pop star, and having sex parties with an Oscar winner and his wife. Well, damn, who the Oscar winner? It could be anybody. I remember somebody told me they saw Angela Bassett's husband making out with a man. Child. This is somebody I trust that works in the industry, and they said he gagged when she saw him. Because I'm like, Angela, you know, I live for you, but do you know who you married to, sis? I didn't want to give Courtney that stray, but child, that just came out with the, that just came out in the wash, apparently. But anyway, let's talk about Kim's book. So the 60-page book, Kim's Lost Worlds, claimed to be a collection of the diaries of Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children who died of pneumonia in 2018. Well, you want to know something? They saying she died of pneumonia, right? But just like how they all need to dig up Ivana off Mar-a-Lago, what y'all need to do is dig up Kim Porter and recheck that body, because I truly believe in my heart of heart, just like that conspiracy that's going around that people believe that Diddy may have had something to do with the unaliving of Biggie and Tupac. I believe that he has something to do with Kim Porter, because I truly believe, like, there's evidence, not of him, but statistics show that when people are in abusive relationships with people, when you continue to stay in that relationship, there have been situations where the significant other who continues to abuse their significant other, that sometimes it results in the taking of their life. When you smack them around and things of that nature, that happens. A lot of deaths end up domestic violence. When you're in a domestic violence situation, that happens. Well, I should have just said DV, because, YouTube and y'all algorithms. So basically, it said the 60-page book, Kim's Lost Words, claiming to be a collection of diaries of Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children who died of pneumonia in 2018, leaked by her friends. It describes Combs' colorful love life in the 90s through Porter's final year, including alleged philandering with both male and female top musicians and rappers, and debauched orgies at his home in which Porter took part. Because remember, there was also a story that came out about how there was some, I forget the white woman name, that filed the complaint against Diddy and saying that he assaulted her and things of that nature, like the R word and everything. How at the party he would shove e-pills down her throat with his dirty ass fingers, because he looked like he don't wash. He don't file his nail, clean them out or nothing. Sometimes I be looking at Diddy teeth, look like he don't be he going days without brushing his fucking teeth. So he's kind of like, he got the Billy Porter special when it comes with the mouth. So basically, take little nasty, dirty fingers, don't know who orifices they've been in prior to, and shove the fingers down their throat to make sure the e-pill goes down, and you're not trying to, put it to the side and pretend like you taking it. He want to make sure it's swallowed, and then swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? Speaking of which, how TD Jakes doing today? And Carla, I know it's this good Sunday. How TD Jakes doing out there on the pulpit? He real quiet in regards to this whole Diddy case. So him and Reginald Bell Johnson, they allegedly said that Diddy was clapping them cheeks too. I know Reginald over there on Dance with the Stars. How he doing with his little 2-step and his foxtrot and whatever else kind of stupid dances they got them doing on that tight ass Long in the Tooth show. So yeah. So and then the whole thing with the swallowing, because I had a TD Jakes moment. Let me bring it back. Because when I said swallow, that line from TD, swallowed. So after he had to swallow the e-pill, they were saying that the girl was forced to do sexual things with Kim Porter. So that's why I was saying, like, with the whole thing where it took part. So that just reminded me of that story. So anyway, so it said the book was published on September 6th, just days before the rapper and Bad Boy Records founder was indicted for racketeering and sex trafficking by federal prosecutors in New York. The short memoir was describing alleged accounts of Diddy slapping Porter after losing his temper and even making death threats towards her. In the book, Porter recounts discovering and making copies of tapes Diddy made of himself, having relations with young boys he was managing, including an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star who went on to be a household name. Now, here's the thing. Who else who would be all the young boys in there? They said young boys he was managing. Now, I need people to fan out on this. Now, would that be anybody from Day 26? Because I'm trying to remember who at the time was he managing. I don't recall Diddy managing anybody. All I know is he signed people to that label. He was stealing all their money. And let's talk about it, because we already know that Diddy was notorious for stealing everybody money over there at Bad Boy Records. Everybody was broke. He was the only one that was accumulating an income. You could ask anybody that came off that damn horrible ass label. Bad Boy, my ass. So, I wonder if it had to do with any of the members of Day 26, because, Willie was the pretty one in that group. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's his type. So what I heard, Diddy liked him dog. He liked the Aaron Halls. And I would not be surprised if he did a little something to Usher. Because remember, at 13, or was it 14, Usher was up under Diddy when his career was, happening. And he did mention on Howard Stern. It's funny how, the internet is a strange place, and I live for it. We got to take the good with the bad as part of the facts of life, as the song said. While we have the trolls and everything and stuff on social media, the good thing about social media also is that if the sleuths, when they sleuthing, the internet sleuths, when they be up there doing doing the Lord's work, the great thing I love about it is how y'all will find a receipt and pull it up. And people been but there's been stuff about Jay-Z too that's been coming up too in regards of at the age he met Beyonce. So I think he must, even though the Knowles, I guess, did what they did to try to protect her enough in this industry, you only protect her from Joel Camel because he got his hooks in her. And remember, he was trying to get with Aaliyah at one point, which is why I believe that is the root, one of the many roots of why him and Dame Dash can't stand each other. But this ain't about Jay-Z right now, because I have a feeling down the road his ass is going to get got too. But they focusing on Diddy right now. Now, the thing with damn, now I lost my train of thought. What was we talking about? I hate when that happens. Oh, so the young boy situation. So I'm wondering who it was, because then the Usher thing that came out was the fact that how he said he was going here. I guess he took a gander and saw things. He didn't really elaborate that much on the freak offs or whatever. So who knows if he was up in there. I do believe that he was jumped in, that some stuff happened. And I do believe because Justin Bieber, because that's the name that's floating around. A lot of people think it was Justin Bieber. That was the 18-year-old that Diddy was having relationships with. Or relations, not relationships. That he wanted to clap them cheeks and probably got it. Introduce him up in there, you got him the drug. And remember, there is a clip floating around that people like to bring up too, of where it looked like Justin Bieber was performing some type of oral fixation on Trey Songz, and the camera was panning around or whatever, and Diddy was over there too, and he comes up, and then everybody's saying that he was doing some things. But then there was another podcaster who mentioned that they saw Trey Songz making out at the freak off, sitting on Diddy's lap, making out with him. So I would not be surprised if all of these things has been going on, and a lot of them are in this situation. I've even been hearing Chris Brown's name has been floating around in the conversation. So as for the evidence that there was some possibility that some mess was going on with Justin Bieber, I want to show y'all this clip. Because this clip has been floating around, and Justin looked like he's scared shitless. He was stuttering when Diddy came upon him. So this is the clip. Please hold. I'm going to play it for y'all, and then we'll come back to the show.
Good. Selling out arenas and everything. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah. Everything's good.
He said, "You want my number?" Diddy is the devil. I've been telling y'all that man is the incarnate of Satan. This is it. Like, why you up there trying to intimidate the little boy? You know that when you get these little white boys that be wanting to be down, they want to be down. They want to be down with the black folk, playing in the spaces regards of the music, the hip hop, all that other stuff. And then when y'all get up in there, it's like y'all want to sit up here and try to intimidate and do things with these young boys. What the hell does this boy need to be running around as some damn freak off, allegedly? So yeah, that's the tea on that regarding that. So I wanted to play that for y'all in case y'all didn't see it. So now it says the final entry of the memoir has Porter falling fatally ill, dramatically texting her friends, "He got me," and then calling 911. So there's actually has people thinking that I don't think she got pneumonia. She may have been, her life may have been taken by Diddy. Now, another thing that makes me think that that could be possible. Remember at one point, Kim Porter's baby daddy. Let's talk about him, Albie Shore. Quincy daddy and mother. Remember, Quincy's father basically stated that Diddy had something to do with his coma back in the day. So when you doing all kinds of things, you got pull and money and all this other stuff that got to do with certain things. This kind of makes me wonder that maybe he did have something to do with Kim Porter's death. I do believe that he knows metaphorically and literally where the bodies is buried. So they basically said that the book's Los Angeles-based publisher, producer Chris Todd claims Porter shared a thumb drive with her writing with close friends, which he obtained and lightly edited into a book under the pseudonym Jamal Milkwood. The book is marketed as being printed in Las Vegas on September 7th, 2024. Now, Todd has not offered any documentary evidence to prove its authenticity, but put hard copies up for sale on Amazon. Now, he went and said, I was lucky enough to meet someone that purported to have Kim Porter's flash drive. This is what he told DailyMail.com. I know the celebrity source pretty well. I know how close they were to Kim and Diddy and all the people in the hip hop community. This was supposedly for Kim Porter from the grave to come forward to tell her story. Todd said he did not originally want to put his name on the book for security reasons, saying this is a dangerous situation and I didn't want to claim ownership of Kim's words, but now I'm willing to come forward because of the recent arrest of Sean Combs. Now the federal government has finally acted. I feel safe to come forward. Now, here's the thing. Now, if this person has the drive, maybe I don't know if you, well, I don't know if it's their place to go and tell the police or whatever that so and so is the one that has all these drives and they need to bring it forward. That should be up to the person who has the evidence to be able to, if you really care about your friend, if you really want to put to bed all of this craziness that Diddy's getting, that's happening to him in regards to his karma, then maybe this is an opportunity for that person to step up, go to the police and give them the FBI and give them, the evidence so that way they can build an even crazier case against him. I'm sure, well, look, they got a laundry list of things that he's going down for. But to have Kim's soul rest, that me as a person, if that's a friend that I genuinely care about, and it would ease my soul and it would ease hers as well. And I would be thinking in that context of I would want to put that up and have that happen. So I don't know. Well, so if all of this turns out to be true, then that's what I would do on my part. So, but it also goes on to say, it says details of some of the scandals alleged in the book that have already been reported. As we know, in regards of, the shooting with, or pow-powing, forgot almost, that ain't the word we're supposed to use, the SH word. It said, remember the pow-pow that happened at the nightclub in 1999 where Shyne basically took the fall, where Jennifer Lopez was there. They both got arrested because they was running lights on something. They was up in the club. Jennifer allegedly, according to, the stories that's been going on for years, had smuggled in the gun. And Shyne was the only one that was charged. While Diddy and Jennifer got away. And I think after that night of what happened, and we talked about it the other day when that old video of Jennifer Lopez on the Wendy Williams show, came about, resurfaced, and they showed Guadalupe, her mama, in the audience. I was like, oh, hell no. Because Wendy's like, oh, yeah, y'all need to get back together. I was like, Wendy, no, all the things you know about Diddy over the years, why the hell would you recommend her get back together with Jennifer? Unless that was around the time when you was doing them episodes where you was allegedly swallowing the liquor backstage and self-medicating yourself. Because remember, them stories that came out, I live for Wendy, but she got to get the stray in this one too. When they were saying over the years, Wendy Williams was drinking and self-medicating and stuff because of all the cheatations and stuff that Big Kev was doing, and she was keeping all that buried because, Sharina ain't just come around when this baby was born. He been hunting Serena for years, 15 to be exact. So, Now they say other instances have been flat out denied by the alleged participants, including star-studded orgies. He hosted parties that were just a fancy name of orgies, freak-offs, basically, and everybody wanted in. And that's what the memoir claimed. And then I just saw a video floating around on Twitter where they were showing that Diddy was literally, somebody was recording as Diddy was like, as they were, I think they were, it looked like they were on a dock. So I don't know if they were getting on a boat, a yacht, or if they were, or this was like Star Island, whatever the case, which I heard a lot of people are so happy he's in jail because the Star Island parties that he was having and a lot of the neighbors, they was like, he would just be blasting music all night. And you have a lot of rich people around. You're not the only one that lives on the island. And he's blasting music. So I heard the people that his neighbors is happy his ass is locked up because they tired of him and the noise. But anyway, I don't know if it was Star Island or if it was the yacht they were getting on or party, whatever, but he was confiscating people's phones. You hear him saying it, phones, like don't want no kind of recordings. I guess he was the only one that was allowed to record. Y'all can't record with your phones. So they said, we not only had threesomes, but we also swapped partners. Our sex life was crazy, but I got to do things with Sean I would never have been able to do with a straight man. Ooh. And then he said, she said she was sleeping with a well-known married woman. I woke up and left the bedroom where I was, and Sean happened to be coming out of the bedroom with a chart-topping rapper and the woman's husband. I want to know who this is. Tell me the tape. I was grateful I wasn't asked to join in that room. This is what Porter allegedly wrote, saying she didn't really like the rapper. Porter allegedly wrote that she and Diddy had an open relationship and that she regularly slept with legendary late rapper Tupac Shakur. The Porter memoir claimed Combs first hit her after she refused to use child. How do I say this word? It's a plastic appendage that is similar to what men have between me down there. You know, lesbians like to use it. Well, apparently he wanted that used on him. They said, I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please? This is what Diddy said, according to the book. I became infuriated, the book said, adding that Porter told Diddy to instead have sex with a male music executive she believed he was having an affair with. Then Sean hit me. This was the first time, but he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg, saying, I'm sorry. Holding my cheek where he hit me, I turned and ran off. That should have been it, but I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. Yeah, he would just run around and always constantly apologize, but then would go back and repeat the same thing. This is the same thing Cassia said. This is what so many other people have said in their testimonies. They also said Porter allegedly wrote that she discovered videotapes of Sean's encounters with his bedroom vault and made copies of them as protection for herself as part of her plan to leave him. But the memoir said that when she watched back the tape, she was shocked. Some of the tapes had things I would never expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys, like two hip-hop stars formerly managed by Diddy and the then 18-year-old pop star, I would have never known. The book's publisher claimed the friends of Porter and Diddy who gave him the memoir also had copies of the music mogul's alleged tapes. He claimed that shady interlocutor, is that how you say that word? Had even been trying to sell them to the Hollywood documentary producers, saying, I was given the memoir 60 pages. I was also given a photo and told if I want access to the Diddy tapes, I could have that also. So, yeah. So, I say all this to say it's a whole lot. We got to move on with the rest of the show. This is the cover of the book if y'all want to get y'all hands on it. But child, this is salivating. I'm like, well, damn, do I need to read the book if y'all give me all the details in the article? Oh, but then they also said this before we move on to the thing about, because we got to talk about Shyne and all that other stuff, because we did talk about him early in the show because he has spoken out. They said, I know for a fact the tape of Diddy with the teenage pop star has been shot to Hollywood studios by other parties. Now, I do wonder if all this stuff with Diddy's been coming out, is that why Justin Bieber been acting erratic lately? I've been hearing the stories and stuff. I know, I'm glad you and Haley got your little baby and all this other stuff, but that still ain't going to erase, the abuse and the trauma allegedly that he had to endure coming up in this business. And it's sad that when Justin comes from let's allege all of this. When you come from, but this isn't alleged. When you come from a single parent household where your mother doesn't know how the industry is. We've heard many of the stories when we talk about Quiet on Set and some of the other stuff that's coming out with a lot of these young child actors are now doing documentaries. The Demi Lovato just put one out. When you're doing these documentaries about the abuse that a lot of these kids have had to endure, a lot of them come from single parent households or parents that really don't understand how this business works. And you have a lot of these snakes, a lot of these perverts, a lot of these weirdos that prey on the naivete of the parents and the children by holding their career over their head. Oh, we don't need parents present for this. Oh, we got you. When we heard the stories about Drake Bell on how the molester turned the parents against each other. The father was basically had the gut feeling about this man being a little too close to his son. But then the people that worked in the industry, oh no, you're just homophobic because he's gay. They wanted to use that against him. Look, everybody in our community ain't perfect or a patron saint. So if you're a molester, whether you are heterosexual or homosexual, we're gonna talk about it. And then once he moved the father out of the picture, the mother came in, didn't know no better. And the minute the mother, or she was just, I guess, having her issues with the husband, so he was weaponizing that. And once the mother decided to take over the career and the father was pushed out of the picture, that's when the abuse started towards Drake. You know, you've seen Quiet on Set, the tea is out there. I feel like it's the same thing with this story. So if there's a video coming out of the pop star, things is being shopped around, I feel really bad for a lot of these people who have been abused by this man, and he need to be thrown under the damn jail. Now, last but certainly not least, we do have Diddy's Commissary. It's like we share everything on this show. So apparently they letting us know what he could buy behind bars while he locked up. While he's locked up, they won't let me out. They won't let me out. He's locked up. So long gone are the days of Cristal champagne and caviar bumps for Sean Diddy Combs, because while he's stuck in the Metro Detention Center in Brooklyn awaiting his trial, you know, shout out to In Touch because they obtained his commissary list. So they said that, they try to, they said that the place is hell on earth. Well, if you didn't do the crime, you wouldn't need to be doing the time, Chad. So it said Diddy will have his choice of purchasing a 6-pack of water for $4.50, decaffeinated coffee for, I cannot stand decaffeinated coffee, for $3.55, or powdered milk. First of all, that is nasty. I don't know how anybody could drink powdered milk, for $5.75. The man known for living the high life, who prosecutors estimated is worth potentially $1 billion, will have to settle for a small selection of food. The commissary sells sugar-free honey for $3.70, jalapeno wheels for $3.20, peanut butter for $3.15, Velveeta cheese blocks for $3.70, chicken stock cubes for $1.80, tuna and Thai chili sauce for $2.50, turkey log with honey pepper for $2.70, a hot and spicy beef sausage log for $2.55, a spam pouch for $1.50. Now I do love some spam. It said hot chili with beans for $1.95, or unsalted crackers for $1.95. Now, other items include cheese crackers, curry powder, chocolate-covered pretzels, Chips Ahoy, cookies, granola bars, cashews, unsalted peanuts, Snickers bar, Hershey bar, sugar-free candy, macaroni and cheese, and flour tortillas. First of all, that sounds like some old nasty stuff up in the jail. I'm not expecting that y'all supposed to get, a 5-course meal or Benihana's type stuff. But this stuff, I wouldn't buy none of that. My stomach be doing all kinds of turning. They said Diddy will be able to splurge and purchase more expensive food items like the rib steak meal. Oh, they got ribs for $9.95, bone and chicken meal for $5.45, or the dark chocolate bar for $2.25. First of all, why is the ribs expensive? That's like $10. I'm thinking in jail terms, because in real life, if that's real rib, $9.95 is actually not bad. I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking about that Erik Menendez movie that I was watching, and they was up in here like he spent the whole half a damn, like 10 minutes in this montage I need dimes. I need dimes. Bitching about he need dimes so that way he could, you know, because, you know, the payphone. You need the money. He said, we're rich and we can't even get our hand on no effing dimes. We can't get a roll of dimes. So they said Diddy could buy sweatshirts for $16.15 or thermal pants for about $8. He could listen to the radio by purchasing a player for $15.60 or buy New Balance sneakers for $55. Other items include body wash, soap, razor, hair brushes, and other maintenance items. Diddy could also buy rosary beads for $1.50. Well, you're going to need the Lord, and all else because he loved talking about God, right? Every 5 minutes, I God and love and all that other mess. But child, you're gonna need him more than ever now that your ass is in jail. So I think that's pretty much it. Because I don't want to have to go through this whole list again. They want Diddy was arrested on Monday. We already know the details. We don't need articles every time y'all tell a story to remind us what the hell he was arrested for. We already know at this point. So I just want to give y'all a little bit of taste of the of his commissary. Now, let's move on to the final story, and then we can get to these comments because I see we got a lot. So let's get into the final thing, which is basically about Shyne spilling tea about Diddy, which I'm like, it's about damn time, in the words of Lizzo, because we all know that it's always seemed like Shyne was being diplomatic in his answers in regards of the whole situation with Diddy and everything. But I guess now that Diddy is locked up, in the words of Akon, now he feels compelled to tell his side of the story. And rightfully so. I always tell you, you know what? Sometimes they may not come when you want them, but eventually the real story is going to get out. So Moses Shyne Barrow, a politician and former bad boy rapper, is speaking out against Sean Diddy Combs after his arrest in New York City on September 16th. Now, also, you know, Sean, when he was arrested, that was the whole situation we told about earlier about him in the nightclub with him and Jennifer Lopez, and now he was the only one that did 10 years in prison, probably because, you know, Diddy did his magical work, told him take the fall. I'll take care of your family, whatever the case is. He probably did. And then, of course, some people say that Diddy also put up money to fund his political career out in Belize. So former Bad Boys rapper Jamal Shyne Barrow slammed Sean Diddy Combs for ruining his life by making him the fall guy in his 1999 New York nightclub Pow Powing. He said he pretty much sent me to prison. This is what the former rapper, who is now a politician in his native Belize, said when asked about his one-time mentor's arrest. This is someone who destroyed my life, he repeatedly said of the 10-year sentence he got for defending the long disgraced rap superstar. Barrow said he was in New York in 1999 as an 18-year-old kid just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and be recognized for my talent and take over the world. Instead, he said he became the fall guy for Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy or Puffy. Well, Chad, Miss Mama's had a bunch of damn names. Why didn't care? Now he want to go by Love. The minute he went by that, I had to cackle. Love what? Because the clip ain't yourself and the people around you. They said when 3 people were injured after Combs fired a shot into the ceiling of a Midtown dance club while then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez was in proximity. So it also goes on to say that Combs told jurors he only fired in self-defense, and Shyne was the one to get prison time, with a 10-year sentence for pow-powing 2 bystanders. He said, I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, the still bitter Barrow said this week. Let us not lose sight of what the cold, hard facts are, he said of the betrayal. This is someone who destroyed my life, but do I take any joy or satisfaction for what he's going through? This is what he said of Combs, who is currently behind bars after being charged Tuesday with trafficking and racketeering. So he says he doesn't take pleasure or joy and satisfaction in what he's going through. But Diddy apparently did what he had to do to destroy his life, to ruin his life. All because he didn't want to go to jail. So it's like he don't care about nobody as long as he gets away with whatever he needs to get away with. And he's been doing it for so long that he thought this time the same rules would apply as to the way it was back then. But they're like, oh no, sir. You may have been able to slither on by like the snake you are for 3 decades, But not today, Satan, not today. So Shyne was eventually released in 2009 and deported back to Belize, where he is now leader of the opposition in the Belize House of Representatives. He laughed when he asked if he knew anything about Combs' now notorious freak-offs, in which prosecutors say he forced women to do things with male prostitutes while he pleasured himself and recorded the sometimes days-long sex sessions. He said, "Oh my goodness," he said, chuckling, "I have nothing to do with Sean's personal life. Everything was strictly on a professional level." Details of Combs' previous brushes with the law resurfaced, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I say all this to say, you know what? It's good to hear that Shyne is actually speaking his truth. Now he feels, because of what happened to him back then, he was being all diplomatic. He was in jail. He didn't have no power. When he got out of jail, and now he was deported, and then he became like the ambassador out of Belize. I do believe that Diddy helped fund that campaign. Probably as his, you know what? I'm glad you did me that solid. Now I owe you. I'm going to help you out. And he's always used his money and influence and all this other stuff to make things go away. Or, oh, because you did that 10-year bid for me, and I'm going to keep you quiet. Now I'm going to go help you on whatever aspirations you have. So you may not have been successful and make your parents proud, or mother, as he said. I don't know. He probably is from a single parent household because he only mentioned his mother and other members of his family and his people or whatever. If you want to make them proud, he couldn't do it through hip hop, but he got to do it through politics. Whatever those political situations are. I don't know what the political climate is like over in Belize. I'm just more focused on what's going on in America. Can't sit out here and windmill for everybody. This world is too big, damn it. So, I'm saying with all that, but I'm also glad at this point, you know what? I'm glad Shyne finally got to say how he feels, and we got the truth out. But child, I do wonder what Miss Hannaford going through, because even though her period with the diddler was short, 2 years, I'm sure she know where some of them bodies is buried too. She been real quiet. But anyway, I say all this to say, because this was a long one. It was a lot. I told it was a lot of Diddy stuff that we had to get into. Hold on, because I'm like, I do not want to lose my light. What do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on all of this, and I know it was a lot. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Well, damn, I think I spent like a good hour on this topic. Okay, let's see what everybody's saying. Okay, so Shirley says, "Morning, chatsters." Onyx, good morning. Jan, child. Oh, we're going to get into the whole Janet thing later. I can't wait to tell that story. You know I love me some Janet, but Janet, you don't get this. You getting a stray from me. Says you would not be on reproach. Like, what's going on with her? This gonna go the same way as Epstein. Okay, that's what I said. I said, y'all better watch it. Look, their stories is pretty similar. So I would not be surprised if Diddy end up like Jeffrey Epstein, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. Kalani says, "Good morning." Onyx basically said, "Usher." I do believe that Diddy may have done some things to Usher back when he was staying up in that house. Because remember the thing about them in the bed, I truly believe that Kevin Hart was in on one of them freak offs too. You can't be that short and have that high ass voice and not be messing around with no men, or be that mad about the gays without you actually be doing something at them freak offs. I would not be surprised. Him and DJ Khaled. Oh, that was another thing I forgot to mention too. The guy that I was telling you about, the adult sex slave and all the other stuff, he outed DJ Khaled and Rick Ross. Why all the big back fathers turn out to be homosexuals, allegedly? I would not be surprised if DJ Khaled was getting down with the diddler. Especially being up. You know why I also think was probably messing up there too? And I feel like, I don't know, maybe he be self-medicating or maybe he just slow. You know who gives me that too? French Montana. Because I don't know how he famous and still out here making music. I couldn't name one French Montana song. But I see him around on every damn where. Excuse me. We don't hear much from Justin now because I see him having a Britney type of renaissance in terms of him speaking out about, yeah, I do believe that he has been a victim in the same way that Britney has and so many other kids have. Like, I duly feel like that he's dealt with some trauma from this industry, that there's some things that went down. And I hope that Justin will find it in him one day to tell his story. Because I do see, I see the signs is there in him. It says strap, not straps on. That's why, remember when what's his name? 50 said, get the strap. That's literally, I guess, what he meant about the diddler. Get the strap. And he go, Usher would have because he don't want people he wiped the Twitter because he know the shit is coming. He trying to be all neutral Nancy and focus over there on the other stuff. But I do believe that he knows some stuff. And it doesn't matter who isn't speaker. I'm sure there will be he's about subpoena. Well, look, when that subpoena come out, I can't wait to find out who's going to be on there. Look, quit protecting his nasty behind folks everywhere to speak up. Exactly, because I'm sick and tired of this whole thing. Let's stop always saying, taking down the black man, taking down. There's a lot of black men out here in the world that are doing amazing things, but everybody just wants to focus on the worst of the worst. Y'all can go out here and it's kind of like this joke that Sebastian Maniscalco has been telling on his tour, and I've worked all 4 of his shows. I'm working the last one when even though he tells his Elon Musk joke, and I don't like Elon Musk because of his political beliefs and the endorsing of Trump, all that other mess. But he does say something similar, and this is why I think where a lot of black men are in this with Diddy. Why y'all want to protect these rich black men? Oh, y'all want because y'all want their money and all this other stuff. It's like that's not helping. How's that helping you? How is that helping these people out here who are victims? It's like don't go and worry about you're mad at somebody because they make too much money or whatever. Go out and get your own goddamn money. What's stopping you from becoming that mogul? What's stopping you from getting that $1 billion? You can go out and try to fight and get that money too. But that doesn't mean that you have to excuse the behavior of a Diddy to get to be in that same space that they play in. You can be wealthy. You can be successful in your own way. But why do you have to abuse and destroy people's lives to get that? It's fascinating that Mr. Combs still, not Mr. Combs, Mr. Combs still has even Wolf Blitzer upset. Really? Well, Wolf Blitzer do give me homosexual tease. Oh, daddy tease. But anyway, let's move on with the show because I was like, that was a lot of Diddy news. Hopefully, I can get through the rest of this show, as planned because we got a lot of juicy topics. But I don't know if y'all let's move on to this story. So I don't know if y'all seen Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, but child, I will say this: I'm entertained by the shenanigans. But what the people who aren't happy about the Lyle and Erik Menendez story are viewers and Erik Menendez. Because watching it, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. But the overall consensus from people who watched, well, here's the thing. When the whole Lyle and Erik Menendez story was going on, the Menendez brothers, whatever you want to call it, I was a freaking infant. I didn't know what was going on. I remember like years later, similar to like the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing, I had become aware of it in school because kids would talk about it. We make jokes about eating people and all this other stuff. Now, when you say stuff like that, now it's like, okay, it's a little cringe. But it's funny because I was just talking about Sebastian Maniscalco. He tells a Jeffrey Dahmer story in his show, which is pretty funny. But when it comes to this sort of situation, they said the people are tired of Murphy's obsession with making true crime more salacious than the real life. And I think that was the issue that a lot of people had with the Dahmer series, which I will say this, I could not finish it. I don't know what happens at the end. All I know is the story from what happened in real life. I couldn't finish that series because it just felt like you were sensationalizing this whole thing with Jeffrey Dahmer and the abuse of these gay black men. And we hear so many stories, me, because I pay attention to what's going on in regards of like the abuse and unaliving of black trans women and the LGBT community of color, the abuse that a lot of that goes on and that goes underreported. So I'm aware of that. But then when you see a white man like Ryan Murphy exploiting all of this, it becomes a problem. And excuse me. And then in this movie, it seems like he's sexualizing the brothers, especially on a couple of the scenes that have transpired in this series. I've only watched the first 4 episodes, so I don't know how far down the rabbit hole they go. But there was a scene in the film, in the show. I don't know. I guess I'm used to seeing things in films, so I'm always thinking that. But it's a 9-episode series where they show Lyle and Erik kissing each other on the mouth. There's a lot of shots of them in the shower. There's a lot of nudity. There's even a scene of the actor playing Erik Menendez in the shower in jail. flirting with this black dude. And I guess they formulated some kind of relationship of the sexual kind. Because then you see a scene when he turns to the side and you see old Eric's meat. I'm like, let me find out this boy packing all that meat between me down there. I'm like, is it live or is it Memorex? Is it real or or was it a prosthetic they was using? And the actor that plays Erik in the movie is gay, by the way. In real life, he's openly gay. So it says the new series from Murphy tells the story of the real-life Menendez brothers, Erik and Lyle, who were convicted of murdering their parents in 1989. The show portrays their lives as exciting, sexy, campy, titillating, and more than a little incestuous. But the truth was much darker, as the brothers were reportedly SA'd by their father for years with their mother's knowledge, which is what they claim as the reasoning behind why they killed their parents. And when you watch the series, it does make it seem like, oh, well, the brothers basically just took the lives of their parents because they wanted the money. They wanted to be able, the father's going to take them out the will because they was going around the neighborhood robbing the houses and all the other stuff, and they got caught. And the father was like, you're out the will. And they made it seem like that was the reason why they committed the crime. And the fact of why they took their mother out was because, they wanted to put her out of her misery because she was self-medicating. The father had a girlfriend or girlfriends. The father was abusing the children sexually, SAing them. And remember, there were stories about him because he worked in the music industry that he apparently touched some of the members of Menudo. So there was also some stories that was going on about that. I think that was in a documentary or something that I was brought up. So, the fans are pretty much pissed off at Ryan Murphy. Here's some of the stuff they said. I'm not going to pull up the tweets because it includes a clip from the show. And I don't know if Netflix does this thing where if you share anything from their situation, how they, will chop and demonetize the page or whatever. So it said the Menendez brothers were victims of SA who finally retaliated against their abusers, and this disgusting piece of trash has turned their story into an incestuous fanfic. Hell is not hot enough for Ryan Murphy. Well, God, child the ghetto. And then another person said, well, hold on, because I got to refresh. I don't know why these tweets is like jumping like a Beyonce song. Well, Destiny's Child. So it said, taking the story about two brothers who suffered from SA and abuse of their dad and turning into incestuous fantasy is horrid. Taking a story about, because I read that too fast. I know some people be claiming I talk too fast with things. So I'm going to read it again. Taking a story about two brothers who suffered from SA from their dad and turning it into an incestuous fantasy is horrid. Another tweet goes on to say, I'm actually speechless. Seeing them create this fan fiction involving incest between real-life brothers is crazy to me, especially when they have been victims of abuse and incest themselves is absolutely vile. But it's not only viewers who are pissed. One of the subjects of the show, Erik Menendez, has seemingly responded from prison. Wait, they're still in jail? I wonder how long did they get? I don't know. I didn't get through the whole series, so I don't really know what they're if are they spending life in prison? I don't know. I got to do that research, or maybe I'll just finish watching the show and I'll find out the details. So, according to the statement, Menendez called the show vile and appalling character portrayals of Lyle and me and disheartening slander. So it's a long one. So hold on as I pull that up. So it said, in Erik's words, I believe we had moved beyond the lies and ruinous character portrayals of Lyle, creating a caricature of Lyle rooted in horrible and blatant lies rampant in the show. I can only believe they were done so on purpose. It is with a heavy heart that I say I believe Ryan Murphy cannot be this naive and inaccurate about the facts of our lives so as to do this without bad intent. It is sad for me to know that Netflix's dishonest portrayal of the tragedies surrounding our crime have taken the painful truths several steps backward, back through time to an era where the prosecution built a narrative on a belief system that males were not SA'd and that males experienced break trauma differently than women. Those awful lies have been disrupted and exposed by countless brave victims over the last 2 decades who have spoken through their personal shame and bravely spoken out. So now Murphy shapes his horrible narrative through vile and appalling character portrayals of Lyle and of me and disheartening slander. Is the truth not enough? Let the truth stand as the truth. How demoralizing to know that one man with power can undermine decades of progress in shedding light on childhood trauma. Violence is never an answer, never a solution, and is always tragic. As such, I hope it is never forgotten that violence against a child creates 100 horrendous and silent crime scenes, darkly shadowed behind glitter and glamour and rarely exposed until tragedy penetrates everyone involved. To all those who have reached out and supported me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And this is disgusting that, yes, Ryan Murphy, old gay ass up here. Yeah, I can say that because I'm a homosexual myself. And this has been my problem with him. The fact that how he likes to, first of all his American Horror Stories is trash. They need to just burn that show at the damn stake. And especially that mess that came out last year with Kim Kardashian. The fact of that is you thought to put her behind on something and think her ass was Meryl Streep, that should be blasphemous upon itself. Then we got this mess. Well, then first we had American Horror, not American Horror, so we had Monsters, the one with what was it? Jeffrey Dahmer that pissed everybody off. Now we got this one. Then we have the other one with Aaron Hernandez, American Crime Story. I don't know how that one's doing, or if anybody's complaining about that in regards of like the toxic masculinity and machismo culture and the fact that Aaron Hernandez was possibly closeted man and was trying to prove himself to be this macho dude or whatever and would do things to try to prove that side of him because there was a thing of gay and machismo and sports and stuff, and people think that you can't be gay and like sports. Not every gay man likes getting their nails done, doing dips, voguing, and doing drag and hair and makeup. Not all gay men do that. There are gay men that like football that are just regular dudes that but just like having sex with men. And there is a scene that is in this show where this black inmate, I don't remember if he had a name or what his name was. It was late when I was watching the episode last night. But he's like asking him if he was gay or whatever, asking Erik if he was gay or whatever the case was. And he was like, I don't even like that word. And I think a lot of men in that term is like, yeah, I like having sex with guys, but I don't want that label aspect. That's a whole different conversation. There's labels. There's layers to this whole thing when it comes part being a part of the LGBTQIA LMNOP plus minus subtraction and division community. I put all the damn letters and acronyms and all the other symbols and stuff up in there. You know, we got a new one every damn week. So there was that. But then he was saying that he didn't really know if that was a thing, if he liked men because of what his father did to him. Especially when there's a whole episode where he goes and he's talking with his attorney and he's recanting, not recanting, but he's going, giving detail into what his father did to him. And the oral copulation, the cinnamon, and all this other mess that was going on with that, based off the taste. So there was a lot of crazy things that was going on in this thing. And for Ryan Murphy to glamorize this because you found two hot actors and you basically want to spend the whole show doing all kinds of sexual stuff with them and showing it on the scene. I mean, in the scenes and stuff, I'm feeling uncomfortable watching this. I'm like, should I be getting into their story or should I be pulling down my pants and pleasuring myself? I mean, I'm joking in regards, but you know what I'm saying. Because it's like, what are you doing? Are you trying to tell these people's story or are you trying to exploit them for your own sexual whatever? So now I'm starting to look at Ryan Murphy funny. Like, it's the same thing that Angelica Ross said the other day when it was brought up about Bryce Shear Gray. For those of you who don't know who Bryce Shear is, he played Gaz on, well, not Gaz, I think Gaz is his other name, but he played Hakeem on Empire. And if y'all have not noticed, but lately, Hakeem been out here, how he making his coins hotter. I don't know if he's doing drugs. Allegedly, he might be. See on that stuff. But he's out here doing adult cinematography with other men for a fee on OnlyFans. And Angelica Ross says something about how our elders, our gay elders in this industry should be protecting our young men coming up in here. And it's because you see the signs and stuff. Kind of makes me wonder about this. It's like when you have these Lee Daniels, these gay men in high profile situations, I'm just using them as an example. These Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry. Yeah, we're going to include her in this conversation too, because you can't tell me that man like pussy. I don't care what he says. Girl, we know you a queen, a butch queen out in Atlanta. Stop it. Him, Ryan Murphy, And who the other one? What is a bunch of them? But I say, well, listen, say, when you're in this position that you create shows, when you create movies, you find these really attractive men up in this situation. We should be trying to be the mentors. We should be protecting a lot of these young people coming up. We shouldn't be exploiting them in this way. And it just feels exploitative with what this man is doing, what Ryan Murphy is doing. So it's sort of like whenever I watch him, I can't take him serious. Like when he did American Horror Story, how you got what's his name? Richard Menendez or I forget the damn serial killer name, the Night Stalker. The when he had him in one of the ones with when they ripped off Friday the 13th, basically, speaking of Angelica Ross, she was in that episode. When they all went out to the camp and it basically was a horrible ass rip off of Friday the 13th, and then they had a real life serial killer say, I don't like when he does that. If you're gonna tell a story, tell a story, tell a fictional story. But then he tries to incorporate real life serial killers in situations and just be making stuff up. And I think that's what irritates people. So maybe what it is that we got to stop giving Ryan Murphy, we got to stop watching his stuff because he just be out here just pulling stuff out his behind and thinking that we just supposed to just believe all the mess. So I say all this to say, you know what? I get it as an elder in the entertainment industry that you want to hunt your hot male acts off camera. And if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. Oh, Bryan Singer, that was the other one I was thinking of too. However, it is quite pathetic for you to basically create sexual fan fiction when the focus of the series should be on the boys they killed their parents because they were tired of being abused by their father. And the mother sitting there just, oh, I knew. But bitch, why you not protecting me from this man? Is it because you worrying about your place in the will? That God forbid, that you're gonna end up homeless? That you're not gonna protect your kids? And yeah, in the 90s, they was not, it was you couldn't mention that any kind of abuse or stuff with boys, or whatever, because people did not think you could abuse boys. It was always girls. Boys were always seen as like the strong, alpha, whatever. Girls were seen as the weaker gender. It's not until now that people are coming to the terms of, you know what, it is a possibility that boys could be abused as well. Now more of that is coming out. That's why I had to laugh during that scene when the inmate was in the prison with Erik because him and Lyle got separated because Lyle went and decided like a fool, put a piece of paper and was drawing an escape plan and the COs found it. So they separated them and put them in a separate prison. How he goes and says, well, the inmate says to Erik, who I guess they were having an affair with, or they were sleeping together, but they didn't really expand on that. It was implied. He was like, when it came down to the whole gay thing, damn, I forgot my damn train of thought again. It must be the coffee. Maybe I'm not awake. It's sort of like, you know what? Oh yeah, it's okay to be gay. You can be whatever you want to be. I said, not no 90s. I don't know. Y'all, look, you cannot bring 2023 whenever y'all wrote the script to 2023, because I'm guessing, because it came out in like the fourth quarter of 2024, that y'all probably wrote that script maybe last year, and then y'all started filming it earlier this year, and then now it's coming out after the edit and everything. No, y'all go say, oh yeah, you could be gay. It's all right. No, not no 90s. Stop it. Like, come on, you're old. You should even know that. You can't sit up here and try to put Gen Z, Gen Alpha BS talking points about it's okay to be gay in the 90s, because it wasn't. That's a lie. So I'm sitting there cackling at some of this dialogue. So they also said, especially when they had the AIDS Holocaust going around, like, sir, let's talk about it. Come on now. Y'all, we can't be that damn forgetful or living under a damn rock. But then again, Janet Jackson been living under one all this time, so it's possible. So it also said, so what else did I say? Because I had to write, notes in regards to my overall thoughts. So yeah, the mother had to go too because she basically she was self-medicating, drunk, taking the medications and all other stuff and with the liquor and just looked the other way while the father was up in there doing all kinds of stuff to his sons and other people's sons, allegedly. Now look, as an openly gay homosexual, I have to say I do love seeing a hot, scantily clad men on my screen, whether it's a big or the small screen. However, that should not be the main focus of this story that you're trying to tell. And as usual, Ryan Murphy is taking real life stuff and bastardizing it. That seems to be his go-to, his MO. So that's all I got to say on that. Now, what I want to know is, what do you guys think of this story? Have you seen the Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez series that's currently airing on Netflix? What are your overall thoughts? Do you agree with a lot of the people online, as well as Erik, who have come out and said that what these people are bringing up, y'all pretty much are bastardizing our story, and you're just making up a whole bunch of stuff for sensationalism and not really getting to the root of why these kids did what they did to their parents? And let's really talk about abuse in homes and how these people who have all this money and this power and influence, the things that they do to their children behind the scenes, and why some people are drawn to having to take this drastic measure to stop the abuse from happening. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now hold on, because we have comments. I was like, I'm having to refresh a lot of my stuff because the things is bubbling. I said, I stopped liking Ryan Murphy after he didn't tell the Dahmer victims' family that he was doing the show. Oh, yeah, there was that too. And I'm glad Niecy Nash got her Emmy, because I like her. And I'm looking forward to seeing that new show that she's in, Grotesquerie, with Travis Kelce. But yeah, I didn't like, I do agree with you on that. I didn't like that. And I'm kind of wondering too, now, if he did do the thing where you didn't tell the Dahmer victims' family that you was going to be doing a show exploring, their traumas again for views and a check, that when you decided to do this monster situation, did you inform any of the members of the Menendez family what you were doing? Did you speak to Lyle and Erik? Like, well, clearly, Erik is pissed and wrote his long citation, which, long detailed citation. But how did he feel? And I do like the fact that, well, I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens when they do season 3 with Ed Gein, because we did talk about that on this show, that Charlie Hunnam is about to play him. So it says American Horror Story, American Crime Story, now American Sports Story, Ryan Peake with Pose. Well, don't even get me started with Pose, because a lot of people feel like Pose was only good after season 1 was the only good season of Pose. Season 2 kind of was just all over the place. I guess they just love the success of the first one. And season 3, no shade, was just pure fantasy. Because I was sitting up here watching all this, so I was like, Elektra would never been able to have this the empire that she had in real life. Poppy and India Moore, forgot her damn Angel. Y'all would never have had that little fantasy relationship thing that y'all had. All of a sudden, Angel got a baby out of damn nowhere. It was just a bunch of BS. First of all, they had 7, 8 episodes, and then y'all just trying to shove all this stuff in. I'm like, so season 3 just fell way off of me. But I love the show. I love the characters, but it was just like, who the people that was writing that season, the seasons as it progressed, it was just like, okay. Y'all got ridiculous. But I do agree. Pose was the only good season. And it's probably because Ryan Murphy really didn't have as much input on the show as, what the hell would he know about Ballroom? As I remember when Angelica Ross spoke out against him and how he stole her idea for a Black Coven season. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Which, no shade. I would love to see something like that, like an Agatha all along, but with Black witches. I feel like there's so much ground to cover there, a lot of stories. And I think that's probably why a lot of people love season 3 of American Horror Story. That was the last time I think they had a really good season. And my favorite witch on that show was Angela Bassett. Just saw a Brashear Grave. Child, don't even. I saw the same video. Just saw a Brashear Gray video on Twitter where he was on all fours, a nasty looking hotel room. That poor man, yeah, he is. He down bad, child. I feel for him, but it's yeah, when you go, and it's sad that he's just surrounded by these randoms. First of all, I don't like no videos where y'all running around here wearing masks on y'all damn face like y'all about to rob my damn house. It's first of all, if y'all gonna sit up in here and do super happy fun time, shout out to Nico Aesthetics, because I'm glad that you came up with that term. So now I'm gonna be using he and our friends, so I can say that. The whole situation was yeah, the super happy fun time mess. When you doing all of that, Why aren't you working with like actual collaborators that could literally show you the ropes? He working with these randoms. I don't like nobody who y'all wearing masks and stuff over there. If y'all gonna do the videos, y'all need to stand 10 toes down in what y'all do and actually show y'all damn face. I'm tired of y'all sitting up here just want to do stuff for the money, but y'all ashamed of, you know, the fact that y'all like digging in them dudes' cakes. And here's the thing: you can show your little angry booty hole all you want, because that hole look pissed. It looked like it had an attitude. It's like you can sit up here and show your behind and all that other stuff, but honey, unless you taking some real penetration, like it just seemed like it's a lot of fakery going on. And I'm sick of a lot of y'all jumping into this, you know, into our space for a quick coin, but y'all really don't be y'all basically be giving the bare minimum. Agatha all along is getting the sheet. I have heard some people say they're not really feeling the show. So far, it's not bad. I did fall asleep in the first episode, though. I woke up on the second one, though, and when they were doing that singing, I'm like, okay, come on, give me that hocus pocus tea. Come, little children, I'll take you away into a world of enchantment. Remember when Sarah Jessica Parker sang to the kids and had them all hypnotized? I need more of that. You know what would probably be cute if they ever gave us a Hocus Pocus series? Because I will say this: the original movie was great, second one was trash. But then again, maybe not, because if the second movie was trash, don't leave it alone. You said the straight males do not care if you're leaving me hanging. What they don't care about? Yeah, but y'all need to stop playing, because I remember at one point he was messing with the T-girls, and then he started messing with the dudes. What, did you run out of trans women to hunch or to play around with? And then somebody on social media, who I'm glad somebody else clocked it, because they was like, all he do is sit and want to go against what you be saying and don't be having no kind of context. I said, thank you, Jesus. I know I'm not the only crazy one that be feeling this. Y'all probably know, if y'all follow me on the Facebook, Kano Palmer. I just said his name, but on purpose. So I just feel like he bisexual. And what planet is he bisexual? You trying to claim him? You trying to claim Diddy? Diddy? I really feel like Diddy is a self-hating homosexual who was able to truly be his true, authentic self, and takes the abuse out on the fact that he can't be his true, how you doing self, by beating on women and treating them like crap. I truly believe that in his heart of hearts, he likes dick, but just plays into the whole, feeding his sexual appetite and then also abusing women, because he hates the fact that he cannot be his true, authentic self. And that comes from the environment in which he's in, which is this industry. The straight males do not care about it. Oh, that's what he was saying. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about Miss Tina Knowles, who out here BSing us as usual. So, sis, you getting straight too. As I don't care who mama is. Some people, I don't say Beyonce mama. She has a right to defend her daughter. Yes, she does. But you are not. Last time I checked, I don't think Beyonce anointed her mother as her publicist. So Tina need to stop running over her damn mouth with that resting bitch face. And I don't care how much surgery and injections she get in her face. Why that face still look bad? Who hurt you, niece? Oh, I forgot. Matthew and Bianca Lawson daddy. Shout out to Kendra, the Vampire Slayer. So it said, Tina Knowles denied an alleged response to Dolly Parton's comments on Beyonce's 2024 CMA Award snub, because there was a story that came out that basically stated that Tina, had said some things about her about Dolly Parton. Now, Dolly Parton, in my opinion, I do not feel like she said anything negative. She gave a diplomatic opinion, but Tina took it away, allegedly. But now she's saying it's fake. But let's entertain the foolishness. So yeah, shout out to the Neighborhood Talk, because the Neighborhood Talk was the first one that brought this up. They were the ones that said this, and she went and I guess saw this and said, it's not for me. Wait, hold on, because you can't even see where it says, oh yeah, it said this is fake, not for me. Because I was like, let me just move it down a bit, or let me just take the damn lower third out so y'all can see it. So this is fake, not for me. This is what Tina70 commented under an IG post by the celebrity news account The Neighborhood Talk on Thursday, September 19th, in response to a screenshot of a comment attributed to her. The fake comment in question appeared to take issue with Parton's stance on Beyonce receiving no nomination at the CMAs for her country-inspired album, Cowboy Carter. Parton recently said she did not think the CMAs were shutting out Beyonce on purpose. Now, Parton 78 also questioned whether awards voters simply opted for other artists who have been recording country music their entire careers. Oh, Miss Dolly, we love you, but Bae did spend her whole life, and put whole in caps, life working hard since she was 9. She got country roots too, the comment purported to be from Tina Reed's. She's mastered her craft and broken records in every genre, so saying she didn't spend her life in country music dismisses all the work she's put in. Bae don't need to stay in one lane to get respect. Her talent and work ethic speak for themselves. She's been putting in the work, and nobody else gets asked to spend their life in one place to be recognized. Hashtag been country, the fabricated comment continued. Well, here's the thing. Because when that comment first came out, I was ready to come in here like, sis, I don't know what planet you've been on, but just because you're from Texas don't mean you've been country. Or maybe your roots were country. Maybe that was the foundation. Maybe because those things have been indoctrinated because of where you came from. When I was coming out, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I came up on, especially growing up as a child of the 80s. I grew up, on freestyle. I grew up on hip hop. I grew up on all those other things. But when you get into a genre and you're a person of color, her foundation was always like R&B, and it was like R&B pop, I guess. But yeah, Beyonce was more or less playing in the hip hop space, in the R&B space. But then when she got to be at a place where she became like this big superstar, and once you filled the quota of making all the money for the labels and appeasing people and giving them what they want based off your contract, then you can get to a place where you can dip into other genres and try different things. And in her solo career, Lemonade on down, Beyonce has done that. She has dabbled in different genres. This recent album is not a country album, as she said, it's a Beyonce album. So it's got country elements in it, but it's not a full-fledged country album. And yes, she did record Jolene in her own little version, and Dolly Parton is even on the album, and Dolly has given nothing but love to Cowboy Carter and the contributions and the edutainment that she brings into the whole country space and the history of Black artists in country. I don't think that just because you've done all those things that you automatically, excuse me, expect to be welcomed with open arms in the country music space. Now, I will say this, because I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this. Gwen Stefani got a new album coming out this fall. The first single, and we're going to get into it because that's our next topic right after this one. I mean, I think it's not this one. It's coming up. Gwen Stefani has a new album coming out. The new song it's got country elements and all this other stuff in there. So I'm starting to notice this trend. Like all of a sudden now, a lot of people who started out in pop spaces are now dabbling into country. And they'll probably say, oh, because she's with Blake Shelton and all this other stuff. If y'all welcome her with open arms, and if she starts getting all these nominations in the country music space, then I'm going to start being like, you know what? I see racism in this. I see what y'all doing over there. Now, if y'all go and welcome these other white people in y'all spaces, then I'm going to be like, mm-hmm. It's the same thing with Post Malone. Post Malone played in the Black music space for a long period of time. And now, because he wasn't really welcome over there like he was, now he jumped over in country music and he's being celebrated. So it does kind of have me wondering in regards to that. So yeah, nobody's discounting the fact that she's worked, how hard she works. We know Beyonce works hard. We know she, puts a lot of work ethic. She has a strong work ethic. She kills it whenever she's on stage. She's a phenomenal performer. She definitely gives what needs to be done in regards to the music. Nobody's discounting that. However, when it comes down to this, it's like you can't just be expecting that everybody is just going to welcome you with open arms and just give you a plethora of awards. And I will keep repeating this part. It shouldn't matter about how many awards you get. That shouldn't be your main focus when you're putting out music. That shouldn't be the end all be all of what you're worrying about. I just feel like, Beyonce is doing something that's way beyond accolades and collecting awards. And to me, I feel like she's starting a conversation about Black artists and where they fit in the country music space. And I feel like that is way more important than the fact of her collecting a bunch of awards, country music awards, like she collect Grammys, which she got like damn near 3 dozen of them. So I'm not going to take away from the fact that, as an artist, it is great to be acknowledged by your peers and receive a pat on the back with all the hard work, in the form of an award. But now that you won the award, then what? What exactly does this award do for you besides sit on a mantle? Like, these are the things that people really need to ask themselves. And this had me thinking because I was watching an interview with Halle Berry on Sway in the Morning. And this was one of the questions that was brought up, not in regards to Beyonce, but they were talking about how, like, she's like, oh yeah, I have an Oscar and I have all these other awards. But it's like, once I won the Oscar, did that help me with my career? No, I had to go out there and I still had to work hard. I still had to go and fight for those roles and all the other stuff because people think that once you get an award that you've made it. It's like, okay. So you collected a bunch of awards. I can't be buried with them when I die. Now, when I decide to be buried with all my damn Grammys, you don't think somebody going to dig up my grave and try to get one of those and sell it on eBay? So awards, yes, it's great to have them when to show that, people appreciate the work that you've done. But as I always say, what the hell has that got to do with the price of tea in China? Like, how's that going to help me in any old way? So I just don't understand the point of them. I mean, I understand the point of them, but you know what I'm saying. So, to me, the way I think, a true artist is more concerned about putting out a body of work that will last the test of time and will have you thinking instead of pandering for a damn award. So I don't know. So what do y'all think that this was a fake thing and somebody hacked her and because but she didn't bring it up. She's like, oh, it's fake, it's not from me. So where'd it come from? Were you hacked? Because that seemed to be the overall excuse with a lot of these older people. Shannon Sharp been hacked, she been hacked. Tina be out here saying stuff, but then Beyonce, take it down, take it down, take it down. And then she go, oh, that wasn't for me, it was fake. That seems to be her go-to. I'm not buying it, Miss Mamas, but we'll go along with it for entertainment purposes. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that Tina did write that and she was being, trying to be slick with that mouth, and when she got dragged and Beyonce probably got at her over putting that out there, she was like, oh Lord, let me get rid of it. Whatever your thoughts are on this whole situation, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so I have a comment. Roro says, Miss Tina think we don't. A lot of them think we are. I was like, girl, you was a hack. You know you said it. You said it. Own it. In the words of Lisa Rinna. Child, let's get into it. Let's talk about Katy Perry. Have y'all heard the new album yet, 143? Well, I told you I was going to listen to it. And I'm going to give you my overall thoughts. I wrote them down. I wrote them on social media. I wrote it on Facebook. I did like my overall thoughts. But I was like, when I gathered all the opinions regarding the people's, critique of the album, I was like, let me just add mine up in there. So that way y'all can know my overall assessment. So I listened to the record. And a lot of critics did too. And they said that this is like Katy's worst album. I know some DJ friends of mine who like the record and have they faves. And I'm like, okay, y'all like it, I love it. There'd be stuff I want to say, but I'm like, I guess there's no requirement for taste. So Katy Perry's highly anticipated comeback album 143 has finally arrived. I'm just being sarcastic, by the way, about the highly anticipated comeback part. And as a surprise to absolutely no one except for delusional Katy Cats, the album doesn't have a single redeeming song. So 143, which references the expression I love you, but is also what Katy considers to be her symbolic angel number, child please, is her first album in 4 years following Smile in 2020. One damning review from a top entertainment outlet declared that Perry struggles to reclaim past glory on the flat 143. Much of the criticism, even before the album was released, was down to Perry's decision to work with her old music producer, Dr. Luke, who settled his long-standing harassment lawsuit with Kesha last year, which he vehemently denied. But even with the hitmaker on board, he produces 10 out of the 11 songs. The reaction so far has been less than favorable. And that's funny. She literally had him on all the songs except one of the damn tracks. That is insane to me. And she's wondering why this album is flopping. And we're going to get to the sales in a second. Now, critic Stephen J. Horowitz writes for Variety. Oh, the Variety one, y'all need to read that one. Look that one up. I cackled reading that review. They went in on her. But this is just a taste. The album is flat, coasting on cascades of lyrical cliches and musical ideas that really crest. Across many of his 11 songs, Perry sounds disaffected and removed, as if she just punched in between American Idol tapings. That's just a smidge of what he said, but he read her down to the floor. Little of the clever wit and emboldened some of her biggest hits peeks out on the album, a disappointing slide away from the savvy she once so effortlessly exuded. Now, this is the ultimate read. I was like, now why they had to get this straight? I like some of their music. Now, Horowitz said that some of the songs sound mechanical and that the song Crush, which I've heard some people say is like a highlight on the record. And don't get me wrong, sonically, there are moments of that song that do sound cute, but it needs more. And I feel like what's really affecting a lot of these songs from really getting to those peaks and valleys, we need to put an end to these 2.5-minute damn pop songs. We need to stop it. First of all, they allow you to put long form song or video content on TikTok. Why is everything still 2.5 minutes? We need to move beyond that. Because I post things up there that's longer than 10 minutes or 10 minutes and longer, I should say, on TikTok. So if they allow that, why are songs still 2.5 minutes? Our minds can expand beyond that. So he basically said that the song Crush sounds like a B-side by the Venga Boys. How y'all going to throw straight at the Venga Boys? First of all, I like some of their stuff, especially for the debut album. That is here's the thing. The Venga Boys is cheesy, but that's some good guilty pleasure dance music from the 90s. And those songs is fun. Look, this Flag still using that song, The Venga Bus is Running, and everybody's jumping. New York and San Francisco from this old disco, wherever the hell the rest of that lyric goes. I do love that song. The Venga Bus is coming, and everybody jumping. New York and everything they back now. He adds, like with their past few albums, lyricism of 143 is rife with cliches as though it was generated through AI. You'll be surprised if they use AI. A lot of people have been using AI to write scripts and things of that nature. But girl, if you don't have the vernacular to come up with a good damn song, just do a writer's camp. Now, meanwhile, The Guardian gave it 2 out of 5 stars, saying the album isn't the calamity expected, but it isn't good either. Critics Alexis Petridis writes, it feels slightly out of time, a common or garden mediocre pop album with the misfortune to be scheduled in the wake of Charlie XCX's Brat, Chappell Roan's The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, and Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet, a trio of messily inventive and hugely successful albums that collectively suggest a certain raising of the pop bar has taken place. Well, I will say this, 2 out of the 3 albums I actually like. I do not like Sabrina Carpenter's album. That was a one and done for me. I'm like, girl, this is a bunch of filler on here. But Charlie XCX's Brat, oh my God, girl, I cannot tell y'all, I cannot wait for that Sweat tour tomorrow. The Sweat tour is coming to New York, finally. It's tomorrow, her Shy Girl and Troye Sivan. Now, Chappell Roan's The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, I cannot tell you. I have been listening, even though Chappell Roan, you've been getting on my root canal nerve with this bitching and moaning about the fame and all that other mess. I have been loving this album. Like, I've been listening to, I don't know what it is. Like, all of a sudden, I've just been popping it on. How am I working out to Chappell Roan in the gym? I love those songs. They got those good uppity synth pop tracks that she worked on with Dan, the same producer that works with Olivia Rodrigo. But then there's moments I'm like, let me just put Chappell Roan on the shuffle. Because, this new album, I was like, yes, I've been looking for it. There's a lot of really good songs in there, and I've been working out to it. And so, yeah, but I already told y'all how I feel about Sabrina Carpenter. She could pay it with that damn album. What would once have sufficed, at least commercially now won't. That is, author and her team didn't notice, seemed far more intrinsic to 143's downfall than questionable choices of collaborator, misfiring videos, or indeed damage to the sand dunes of Sespalmador. The last line referencing Perry being under investigation for possible environmental damage to Spanish dunes where she filmed music video Lifetimes. Well, take her for her coins. Or some of that money she just did at Rock in Rio, where it looked like she just recycled her VMA's performance for some parts. Mark Kennedy for AP said the album was uninspired and forgettable. Kennedy calls out the final track Wonder as the worst song on the album, writing it's a cynical attempt to have moms in the audience wave their hands in unison as balloons float. Even as it decries cynicism. Oh, I could definitely see that because that feels very much like what will happen at a concert. Despite her daughter Daisy Dove making an appearance on the track, Kennedy adds, but by this point, she's lost our trust with the 10 previous songs, a sonic slog. 143 has no soul or emotion. It's just a number. The Independent also gave it 2 stars and said it was painfully dated and glaring it out of touch. Suggested that Perry is trying to chase hits on the album. The review said most songs here have an underlying hesitance, too preoccupied by their commercial aspirations to have any real fun. A 5 out of 10 review from the music publication Clash said the world has moved on, saying, on 143, however, there's a feeling that the world has moved on, with Chaperone's tour sparking Beatlemania-esque scenes of adoration and Sabrina Carpenter maintaining a stranglehold on the charts. You struggle to see where this playful yet unsatisfying record fits into pop's firmament. Despite its critical mauling, Perry has found some favorable reviews from fans on Twitter. Well, y'all can't believe what y'all read over there, Chad. But let's entertain it, because we like to entertain the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. She's also been supported throughout the dismal rollout by her husband Orlando Bloom, well, he's not her husband, they're still engaged, who cheered her on during the 2024 MTV VMAs last week. He's also an actor, so what do you expect him to do? So now, here's the thing. It's funny how I said now there were some positive ones, but I didn't even put none up because I didn't care enough too. But just know there are some people out there that like it. Now I do want to give y'all my overall review of what I pretty much said, and then we can move on. Oh, that's so cute. And look, at least she holds her damn moon man. So unlike some of these other people like Tyler, can you hold my moon man? I have no strength. How would that dumbass bitch be talking? I don't like her. But anyway. So pretty much I said if soulless, forgettable trash were an album, it would be 143. While I will say she did put out some bops during the early 2000s that still eat, for the first 2 albums, she has completely lost touch with what's happening in music, and sonically as well as lyrically, this record is about as deep as a pond. Now, tuning out the noise of what she considers haters was a bad move on her part, as well as thinking by collaborating with Dr. Luke would salvage what's left of her career. Yes, he and Kesha have settled their differences in court, but with all the discourse surrounding him, working with him again was a choice that she will have to live with when 143 era flops. The 3 singles she released was an obvious attempt at desperation for pop domination, and don't get me started on that joke award show known as the VMAs. Now, as far as her performance on the songs, it doesn't even feel like she's engaged as her past songs, such as I Kiss a Girl, Firework, Teenage Dream, and Roar. She was clearly phoning it in between Orlando Bloom Baloney War sessions and her judging gig over at American Idol. And I spelled Idol I-D-U-L-L, but that show is dull. I don't know why the hell they brought it back. Now, like Jennifer Lopez, I think the best bet for her is to book another residency to sell this record, because this album will come and go faster than you can say smile. And since I mentioned Jennifer, this is me now. Now, I will say this, because there were some other albums that came out, and everybody's out here windmilling hard for Katy Perry, like she's the only one that dropped a record. But there were some other people that dropped records. If y'all want to hear some really good music, although I am upset with you, girl, that your album is short. Nelly Furtado dropped her new album called 7, which is her 7th studio album. It's short too. She has I believe 14 tracks, and it clocks in under a half an hour. Y'all need to stop that. I understand she's trying to feed the algorithm beast and all this other mess, but girl, you're a veteran. You're a legend. You're a legacy act at this point. You don't need to be trying to play into this whole TikTok space. These kids know how to edit. If they want to make if they want to dance to your songs or whatever, they can shorten it. So I say Nelly Furtado 7, Jamie XX's In Waves, and Purple Disco Machine drop Paradise. Now that is an album that was like, I've been listening to on repeat. There's so many great dance tracks on there. It's got a lot of like 70s disco. It's got some glam rock on there. It's got all these different type of genres. And Purple Disco Machine, he is a German producer. I'm thinking like he should have worked with him. First of all, I was listening to this album. I'm like, damn, Kylie Minogue should have worked with him on Tension 2. And don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to listening to her new album. But that's another one that I feel like she need to work with on her next record. Or if Madonna wants to actually do a good damn dance record, she need to work with him too. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on Miss Perry. And now, last but certainly not least, let's get into the chart situation. So according to That Grape Juice, they said that 143 is on pace to miss the top 10 and debut on her lowest first week sales to date. Because you have other people that's running around and talking about how her new album, it's doing well on global Spotify. Okay, good for her. But in the USA, we don't care about her anymore, apparently. And, it's great to want to be successful around the world. And you can be a global star, and she is global. The Latinos live for her. She just did Rock in Rio in 8. The people are living for what she's doing over there. But it seems like in America, like when they said that the world has moved on, I think for the most part, America has moved on. She doesn't have her finger on the pulse. I don't care how many times you want to change the trend. The people have spoken, and you just ain't giving the girls what we've given or what we need. So it says that predicted first week sales will be 37,000 to 42,000 units moved. Predicted Billboard 200 debut, she might come in between number 10 to number 15 on the charts. So it said, according to the industry analysis at HDD, Perry's 7th, not 70th, child. Can you imagine putting out 70 records? You had to be making music when you were 2. Hits daily double, in case for y'all did not know what HDD stands for. Her 7th studio album will open its first week total sales to up to 42,000 units by the end of its inaugural sales tracking period. If the prediction above rings true, it will mark the lowest opening for any of the pop diva's major label offerings, snatching the personal record from 2020's Smile, which premiered and peaked at number 5 with sales of 50,000. What's more, the projected modest commercial performance of 143 could see it become the first major label effort to miss the Billboard 200's top 10 upon arrival, as each of its predecessors, One of the Boys, which came in at number 9, Teenage Dream came in at number 1, Prism came in at number 1, Witness came in at number 1, and Smile came in at number 5. So it also said that said to be mounting a killer promotion week in the days ahead, that it may, with her being on TV, print, radio, and the internet, it'll probably help up the sales. But it seems like to me that the record is not doing well. It's going to be a flop. Who said Ling Ling really enjoyed the album? Who they talk about? Oh, well, let's not be racist, child. So I saw this to say because I wanted to put that out there. I want to give you all the sale numbers. This is what's predicted to happen in next week. That she's about to miss the top 10. She may just hit the top 10 or may come in between, the top 15 in that range. So she may come in 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15. That's still bad, especially in this day and age. But girl, look, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. You basically, I feel like you just want to put a record together because you wanted to, it was an ego thing. You wanted to see where you fit in the whole pop music space. And the people seem to have moved on. It was like, we'd be here for you if you was willing to give us something with a little substance. But it just seems like you have not matured and grown since the last time you put out a record. You pretty much trying to give us what was working back in when you first came out. During the Teenage Dream era, that was cute or whatever, but we moved on from that. This music has changed. Dance music has changed. Pop music has changed. I feel like in this day and age, when we talk about Sabrina Carpenter and Chaperone, and we talk about Charlie XCX, people want nuance. People want authenticity, and we don't get authenticity from her. Like we said, like the album is about as deep as upon her personality is too. Katy Perry is a blank canvas. She is clearly a producer's artist. She's not somebody who can come up with stuff. I believe she gets in the studio, they throw around ideas. Oh, that's cute. I'll work with that. Yeah, let's work with that. She sits up in there, she's just this blank vessel. And y'all think because she's white and cute and she's got this snatched body and she's been in the gym allegedly doing Ozempic, that mediocrity is going to get you far. Not in this day and age. These new generation children will remind your ass, oh no, sis, we can see through it. And that's what's happening. Now, maybe you can give the basics overseas because they don't get us, they don't see a lot of the stuff that we see, because in America, we are spoiled when it comes to the music, the entertainment, the way things run. Whereas in Europe, maybe y'all don't get the stuff that we get. So I will say that as Americans, we do take a lot of the artists and all the things that goes on in the business for granted. But if you want to go to Rock and Rio and the Brazilians who don't get out much will sit and accept mediocrity, then you go ahead and do it. So I say all this to say, because I know this was a lot. It was a lot to break down with Miss Perry. What do y'all think of this story? Did you listen to the new album? Did you enjoy it? Do you think it's trash? Do you think she needs to hang it up? And also, as far as like the future and her tour and everything, does she need to do a residency? Because I can't see people spending a whole lot of money to go see her on an arena tour. And y'all know these arena tour tickets is crazy with the prices. So whatever your thoughts on this whole situation, let me know what you guys think of their story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. The Venga Boys right now. Why am I in it? Exactly. that's what I was thinking when I was talking about. Now, why am I in it? Is that now see why I get thrown in stuff? I ain't even did nothing. Okay. I never took the Tyler situation as rude and disrespectful. I genuinely think she too. Well, child, she just start lifting some weights. That's what she need to do. Because I'll be damned if somebody gonna sit up here. Can you hold it for me? Girl, put that shit on the floor. Didn't somebody do that? Was it Chaperone? Somebody they move me on the floor. Put it down on the floor, and when you get ready to go, because you're going to have to carry it home. So I did see it as disrespectful and rude. And you already know, what's her name? Chloe? Which one was up there? Chloe or Hallie? I don't even remember. She looked at her like, bitch, I wish you would. And then, of course, Lil Nas X was trying to be the diplomatic one. Thank you, it was Hallie. So, yeah, Chloe busy crawling all over the damn stage trying to sell that album that just flopped. That's no shade. I'm just saying, so sometimes you already know people on this show got to catch strays in the middle of the conversation. It's not intentional. It just happens. But yeah, I do feel like, you said, I think people on the neighborhood talk, child, first of all, the neighborhood talk get on my nerves, like the shade room and all of them. They just be up in there just saying all a bunch of BS just for the sake of clicks and likes and attention. But, I think also that people still mad at her over the whole colored situation, but I'm like, this is the way they do things out in Africa completely different than what they do things in America. And if somebody's telling you that this is the way they do things in their country, we may not like it, but I understand it and I respect it and I'm willing to learn. But I'm like, because colored out there mean different than something over here. Remember, they had apartheid and we had slavery. Like there's a whole bunch of situations and layers and nuances and things that they've dealt with over there versus us over here. So if somebody's trying to tell us that what you feel that the word colored means here is different than what it is over there. But I don't know. It did come across. It wasn't just the whole thing about the award. It was the fact of her getting up on the stage. The girl, I don't even understand why there was somebody behind her that was trying to fix her dress. First of all, the dress is all shredded up. The train was the train. It didn't need nobody to hold it or carry it. She could have walked. The dress was fine. It wasn't like Madonna when she was at when she went to New York Fashion Week, she had that thick old coat on and them crazy shoes, and she damn near fell in the street. But then the assistant was behind her holding up the coat. It wasn't like that situation. She could have walked up there just fine and then kind of gave this overall body language look, whatever, like, oh, can you hold it for me? Like, no, sis. No, Serafina. Hold your own damn award. But it could be a bunch of reasons because, whenever it comes to people who are of different, light skin or mixed race or whatever the case is, people always come out with they want to be mad at the mixed race people. So Taylor could have been in exact predicament if she didn't cater and promote her music to the Gen Z audience that grew up with her during the first peak era. Love it and reputation with that smile. Exactly. And you want to know something? That is what a lot of, you know what, now that you pointed that out, I was like, that was the overall thing, that some people feel like the Tortured Poets Department is not her best work. Reputation, they do feel like was not her best work, because Reputation, it felt like was a retread of, but not really good in regards to the production, a retread of 1989. And so, yeah, she's had some misses, but it's all in the marketing and how you shift the narrative. And you could, if you know how to play your cards right, and know the right people to work with and win the strike and be smart with your business and strategic and have the right team, you can sell the most mediocre of mediocrities to the, to a bunch of people, and they'll think it's the best thing on the plate. You can do that, but she couldn't do it because Katy's lazy. And also, I feel like she's out of touch with what's going on. Taylor's smart. So whether or not you like her music, she is on point when it comes to that. Radio, dance, pop, like Katy, Dua, and Ava Max is out. Yeah, that's exactly. And Ava Max, girl, I know she's coming out with a new album and trying to release new music, but she better figure it out. What's going on with that? Because, girl, you don't want to end up flopping. See, at least with Lady Gaga, when you're trying to be a poor man's version of her, Lady Gaga at least be changing her sound up. You said she tried handing her winter paper thing, handing her the winter paper. Yes, I did. Didn't somebody mention that earlier in the show, that Usher wiped his whole Twitter account? Yeah, because of all this stuff trending. I told you, some stuff happened with him. And like I said, the thing with Usher, I believe Diddy did some stuff with him. Usher get down too. Well, based on the stuff I heard with Menendez. So I think that getting with that woman is a smokescreen. And I believe he tapped in Justin Bieber, because remember, Justin Bieber was his artist. I remember at one point, Justin Bieber probably should have went, and I don't even like him, but maybe he should have signed with Justin Timberlake. Maybe he wouldn't be in the position he is. But then again, knowing Justin Timberlake's shady behind, if you got another white boy that's doing the similar type of music, you probably do some shady mess and try to shelve him, so he wouldn't become the big pop star that he was. So yeah, that was mentioned in the show earlier, that Usher wiped his thing clean. So I wonder if that's trending on Twitter and people are mentioning that. Okay, so now since we're on music, let's talk about Gwen Stefani, because her new single came out for her upcoming album. The song is called Somebody Else's. Her fifth album is called Bouquet. She dropped it on September 20th. So September 20th was pretty busy. In addition to all the people dropping albums, Katy Perry dropped the album. A bunch of artists went and dropped albums and stuff. Jamie XX, Nelly Furtado, a bunch of others. And with all of that, Gwen dropped new music. And I heard the new single. It was all right. It's nothing to brag home about. It's supposed to be, I guess, like this country rock type of vibe, but it pretty much just sounds like Gwen Stefani doing a No Doubt album. It sounds like a No Doubt song. So, they said that the Kiss Off track has the Harajuku girl singing, throwing shade at her ex-husband, Gavin Rosdale. So that got people thinking, because they said, based on some of the stuff that's in the lyrics, that it's about her ex-husband and how she found, happiness in her current boo, and that's Blake Shelton, who was with Miranda Lambert. Another one they said was problematic. So they both had problematic exes. Him with Miranda and her with Gavin. Now, Stefani details why she had to leave an ex and is so much happier now that he's somebody else's problem, saying, I don't know what a heart like mine was doing with a love like that. I don't know what a woman like me was doing with a man like you, but now I've got a love so true. Oh, that's so cute. But see, Katy, that's how you write a cute little song with some lyrics. It's a little corny, but it also got some moments in there with a little shade. Maybe you need to work with Gwen Stefani. She can teach you one thing or two how to write a hit. Now that I've found the real thing, you don't compare, and I don't care that you're somebody else's. And it doesn't even break my heart you're somebody else's, and I pray for them, whoever they are. The Just a Girl artist also made it clear to fans that she isn't looking to relive the past. She said, if I could go back in time, I would erase you, but I could never go back there. Now, elsewhere in the song, Stefani details the unnamed ex's unflattering characteristics, saying narcissistic, semi-psychotic, so manipulated, singing, I thought it every time, but not this time. You gaslit, my world was burning, had to leave before it stopped turning, so happy I could cry because you're not mine. Well, child, maybe she needed to teach Jennifer Lopez how to write a kiss on track too. Because remember, allegedly, she want to write a diss track going towards men. But girl, ain't nobody gonna see you as a victim because you like stuff like this. You like getting yourself in relationships with men that are trash. And knowing her reputation, I don't think people care about whether or not hearing this from Jennifer. We don't want to hear about it. We've heard enough in the tabloids. We've seen you enough in the media. So I don't even think it's gonna work. But this with Gwen Stefani, because we haven't heard from her in a month of Sundays, I think people are here for it. I mean, at least I am. But to be honest, I would have rather, more of that, love angel music baby vibe, where it's like you dabble in different genres. I would like some pop songs, some dance songs, some of that synth poppy type stuff, and also kind of throw in like some Duran Duran-esque arena rock type things. Dabble in the, as she did in the past with the Jamaican stuff with Sly and Robbie and the dance hall, and like playing those different sounds. That's what I want more of Gwen Stefani. This whole country thing, I don't know if the hardcore Gwen Stefani fans are here for that. I'm really hoping that this new album is not going to be full of just country songs. And it's no shade, but it's just like, Gwen, you're a pop girl. Like, that's what the fans want. So this whole Madonna music cosplay thing that you're doing, I don't know if the people want it. But we'll see. When I listen to the album, and if the hardcore Gwen Stefani fans, I'll have to hit up my friend Lindsay, because I know he loves Gwen Stefani and how he feels about that. Now, Stefani and her ex-husband, Gavin, who, is the frontman of Bush, were together for 2 decades and married for nearly 13 before their 2015 breakup. The duo shared 3 sons, Kingston, who's 18, Zuma, who's 16, and Apollo, who's 10. The No Doubt star has since married Blake Shelton after meeting on the set of The Voice in 2014 and officially dating a year later. Now, at the time the pair were going through respective divorces, the country star 48 had just split from his wife, country star Miranda Lambert, who's 40. Stefani and Shelton tied the knot in 2021. Now, Rosdale has also moved on, being linked to electro-pop artist Shawana X this past May. Never heard of her. But if y'all heard of her, let me know what her music sound like. Since their split, Stefani and Rosdale have continued co-parenting their kids, with The Rock reflecting on their past relationship in August, saying, we have an amazing time, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Now, in March, the band member also took a moment to share that what he wishes was different, saying, it'd be nice if there was sort of more connection between the person who made them with me. So that side of it, Rosdale said on Amy Robach and TJ Holmes' podcast, Amy and TJ. So I feel bad for my kids. That's it. That's the overriding thing. So I guess what he's saying is that, with his relationship, that he doesn't have a relationship with Gwen, and basically says it'd be nice if there was some more connection with the person who, I guess, had kids with him. And I don't know why he would expect that, because wasn't there a story that he had a whole baby on her while they were married? Or he had found out he had a teenage son or something, or something or another, and didn't know he had the kid, and that came out in the wash in the media, and how Gavin was doing all kinds of crazy stuff behind the scenes, cheating, rumors, and mental abuse and that sort of thing. And you're sitting up here on Two Philanderers podcast, TJ and Amy. Yes, you still getting that straight. Y'all a bunch of damn philanderers was cheating on your own significant others. So it makes sense that Gavin and Rosdale will go on your show and give y'all a little information about Gwen. And it's like, but so what? You want to maintain? No, we don't need to maintain a relationship. Not after you did me dirty throughout our 20-year relationship. Married for 17. No, we're not going to maintain a relationship. The only relationship we have is when I'm transporting my children to where the meeting spot is, where you going to take them for the weekend while I go do what I got to do, and you go about your business. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to mess with you. I don't give a damn about you. The only good thing that came out of our relationship was these 3 children. So now when I send them off to you, you go do what you got to do. Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. I don't want to, we don't need to have a conversation. We don't need to reminisce on the love we have, make life tonight, in the words of Mary J. Blige. We don't need to have a rapport. Just take the kids and go. I think I have the picture of Gwen with the children. Oh, look at Post Malone. I tell you, let me just get off of here because I'll be telling you, Post Malone be looking so damn dirty, but there is just something about that man. I just know like he be having some old nasty sex. Don't judge me. But it's like, yeah, there is just something about Post Malone. I was like, oh my God. I just know the sex be nasty. And I'm not talking about like stank or whatever. I'm just talking about like nasty, nasty. So yeah, there's her with the kid. And the funny thing is when you look at him, I think that's the oldest, right? Kingston. He looks so much like his father in the face. But you could definitely see like elements of her and the kids and elements of Gavin. But mostly Kingston looked more or less like his father out of all of them. So yeah, I say all that to say because there was a whole lot with this whole thing with Gwen. I'm Team Gwen. I'm definitely curious to hear what this new album sounds like. I'm not necessarily all that enthused about the new single. But I need to hear more in regards of where she's basically what's the direction that she's planning on taking this record. Um, So I said this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all excited for this new Gwen Stefani music? Are you team Gwen in regards to her having the right to tell her side of the story after all these years of what she endured? And that's what I like about her is that, she will incorporate things from her personal life and her past relationships. I mean, what do you think Don't Speak stems from? That song is basically off her relationship with Tony Canal, who was a member of No Doubt. And that's like one of the band's biggest hits. So Gwen's always been out here, spilling her own tea. And that's what I like about some artists. I'm not saying every artist has to do it because y'all be getting mad at Dula Peep because she don't be letting y'all into her personal life. But I live for the artists that do it. Madonna does it. Gwen Stefani does it. There's so many others that do it, but then there's some that don't. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said, and they gave Jay-Z the Rap Icon Award this year at the Grammys. Yeah, then he got up there and basically embarrassed his damn wife. By talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna give her the album of the year. I said, you keep that shit up, they ain't gonna give it to her this year either. Jay-Z be thinking like he got that all that power. It's like, yeah, you may have power over the Super Bowl. Where I know people still mad at the whole Lil Wayne thing, and no shade, but child, they made the right decision. I don't know why y'all get mad at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is not a good live performer. He's terrible. I just seen a video of him the other day. I've been watching old videos. Like he's not just some people just don't have that stage presence, and that's what it's about. They're going to embarrass that man, him getting up there. Oh yeah, I seen her going off yesterday too, and about this whole thing with Diddy and the assaults and things. And I'm like, ma'am, this is a conversation you should not be asserting yourself, and especially based off the man you married and your brother. And some of the things where people said that there have been things that you've done that have kind of implied sexualizing young men underage. So, Nikki, stay on tour, do the whole Gag City thing, all that stuff. But this conversation about jumping in about this whole assault thing, stay out of it. Although I did see like somebody did bring up her name. I forget what's some exact. I wasn't really paying attention about that in regards to that, but I did see her going off because I had people sending me some stuff. Allegedly. I would be surprised if he is or isn't. Well, no, if he is family. Gavin Rosdale and Gwen Stefani was that 90s rock couple. I so missed them together. Remember that time? Mm-hmm. Well, Glycerin was like one of their biggest hits. I was never really a big Bush fan, though. I couldn't get into them. But Gavin was cute to look at. That was the only thing that I liked about that band. Other than that, I was never really into their music like that. It said, what else is new? Nicki being Nicki doing Nicki things. Okay. That has been the tea for years now. Oh, you talking about Gavin Rosdale? It said Taylor is a songwriter. People resonate with her music. Katy producer, absolutely. And I still fall on that. She's an industry plant. And some people don't think that that's what it is. She is an industry plant. Because remember, I always say her first album that people don't like to acknowledge Kate Hudson or Katie Hudson, whatever the hell. She was trying to be Alanis Morissette. We already have one. And she does Alanis Morissette better than Alanis Morissette. We don't need a Alanis Morissette reject trying to come and doing her. There's only one Alanis. And we like her. At least she's authentic in what she puts out. I saw a Bush about 2 years ago. Gavin still looks good, and his son with Gwen literally looks like Gavin Rosdale during the 16th. See, I said that. I said King still look just like his father. It said the Gavin element looks strong in Kingston. Paternity tells no lies. Okay, Gwen get back with the band. Exactly. Like some people saying, I think Robert said that in the comments. He was like, "Oh yeah, like you shouldn't have did Coachella." That probably was true because Coachella's for those wannabe hipster types or these pretentious, Gen Alpha, Gen Z types, and no doubt would have been more or less a good fit for like Lollapalooza or like Gen X millennials. We like Gwen Stefani and we like No Doubt. If the younger kids want to come along, because I always say the one thing I love about white people versus black folks is that white artists trickle down their music to generations. And when I do concerts and I do shows, I see like when you see Billy Joel, when you see all these other artists, you see the different generations of people that come to these shows. Young kids, older kids. Like I was shocked to see like how many young people were in the audience with their girlfriends, whatever the case was, or significant others, family, friends, whatever. A lot of younger kids in the audience jamming to this music. And I'm sitting there like, oh, it's because they parents passing that music, and it's like a thing where it's just like they want to come and see and support. You don't see that with a lot of, urban music. You see it with a lot of rock bands. But I do agree, we need No Doubt. And if you're not going to give us No Doubt, give us music similar to that. We don't want this country stuff. The country audience ain't listening to her like that. I don't care how many seasons of The Voice you do. It's a Don't Speak, Ex-Girlfriend, Simple Kind of Life, all about her life and relationship with. Exactly. She's had many songs. Do Tony still got that blonde hair? As I remember back in the 90s, people were angry that she was with Gavin and not Tony Canal. Back in the day, we wanted Gwen back with Tony. Well, look, whatever their relationship was back in the day, I guess we have to just respect and understand. It's like, it's probably not a good idea if they were messing with each other. She doesn't even look her age. Is it because of all the injectables? Or were you trying to give her a compliment saying she looks young? Money well spent? Or she need to lay off the fillers. And so they absolutely made the right decision. Imagine Wayne on chill. We've seen him on stage. So y'all can sit up here and talk about legacy and stuff. Well, yeah, y'all can honor him at the BET Hip Hop Awards. If that's what y'all want to do and remind people of legacy and things of that nature, then you honor them at the award shows. But when we talk about Super Bowl, you have to realize it ain't just black people watching the Super Bowl. You got to entertain everybody that like sports. I work in the entertainment industry. I work in live entertainment. So when I'm working these events with sports performance or music performance and anything that has to do with live or comedy shows, whatever the case is, you have to think about everybody in that audience. You cannot just be thinking of, oh, black people from the hood. They're not the only ones watching football. So when you got them white people that sit up in here and watch the Super Bowl halftime and all these other races, and they don't know Lil Wayne, and you got him come up on stage slurred out looking a mess, don't know what side of the stage and sitting there cussing, acting a fool, throwing a damn temper tantrum because there's an audio problem, which happens when you're live. You just have to know how to roll with the punches when the mistakes happen. Instead of, I'm going to walk off, I'm going to have an attitude, I'm going to start cursing people out live on stage, and then that's going to trend, and then people get mad, and then now the Super Bowl is looking, what were y'all thinking bringing him up there? So instead of getting to that point, we're going to nip it in the bud and be like, no, we're not having him up on the stage. Now, whatever issue that Jay-Z got with that whole situation, any kind of agenda, that's between y'all. That's something y'all need to figure out. But as far as like live stage performance, Lil Wayne is not a good live stage performer. And that's just facts. And if people want to sit here and get mad over it, argue with your mammy, I don't care. So they said Nicki really needs to stay out of this situation with Diddy. That's what I said, because I'm sitting there like, girl, with your past and the people you be supporting, this is not a conversation in regards of any kind of abuse, sexual, that you need to be jumping into. So Nicki needs to stay in Gag City and never leave. Child, I live for y'all with y'all shady ass comments. I was a big fan of Bush, Razor Blade Suitcase, and 16 Stone, and The Science of Thing were all three great albums. Oh my gosh, they're back. They said Katy Perry originally was Amy Grant. She changed the image for them. Oh yeah, because she was like that. One of her parents, like pastors or something or another. So yeah, she was like that Christian artist. But you did it for the money and the fame. I absolutely believe that. She even said that. Absolutely. But it's funny how, like, when people say things, you bring receipts, they want to call you crazy. It's like, she the one that said it. I don't make the news. I just report it. What you get mad at me for? Be mad at them for the fact that you was duped and now you out here looking like you got egg on your face, but you mad at me for giving you the tea. So they said white artists, that is true. Their music literally lasts for decades. Sammy Hagar went on tour this year, and there was a Reddit thread focused on the 90s babies that were going to see him. Absolutely. And that's why I love seeing it. And it's like, that's why these artists will always forever last, and they can sit and make music until they're like, I mean, not make music. Well, if they want to put out music, they can. But they can continue to tour until they're well into their 80s. Look at Bruce Springsteen. He's like, what? Isn't he in his 80s? He's still performing. Billy Joel, I worked a bunch of his shows. He's still performing. There's a lot of older acts. Look, Stevie Wonder is about to come to my job next month and perform. So, the people still out here doing what they need to be doing. And as long as you got breath in your body, I don't think anybody should stop. I don't care who you are, male or female. And it said Metallica is a white rock band and they still going. So absolutely, Guns N' Roses was on tour before the pandemic and they grossed $500 million. It's like you got a lot of 90s rock bands and 80s, even older that's still out here doing music and making music. And then you got, and I need to bring this story because I think I'll talk about it tomorrow if I'm able to do a show. I just have to see. I forgot to bring up this story. Chester Bennington's mother is mad at Lincoln Park. So we're gonna break that down and talk about that tomorrow. How she was she felt disrespect from the band by getting back together. Well, we'll talk about it. They better wait. Hold on, I'm gonna get to your story in a minute. I mean, your comment. Van Halen, when they were going on tour, they had solid ticket sales. They always did. The rock bands are heavily performance based, so they always make absolutely. And that's what I loved about the bands versus. It's like get up there, you can sing a little songs. You don't have to worry about choreography or nothing because after a while, them knees go. You can't be up there pop dipping and spin. Look at Madonna. She's pushing 70. She's like, I can't be up here doing all that crazy acrobatics like I used to. I said, sis, just get up on that stage, play your guitar, sing in your mic. You can do a little 1-2 step. Let the dancers do all the work. You don't need to prove nothing to anybody. You've given us enough. Even in your 50s, when you was doing all kinds of crazy shit during the MDNA tour and all that other stuff, you don't need to prove nothing. We know what you're capable of. But at a certain point, protect them knees, protect their rib cage, protect that hip. You don't want sciatica going down the side of your leg. You don't want to be dealing with none of that. Trust and believe. Why do you think people are so ready to believe that Diddy mistreated Bieber, but those same people would dare you say anything about MJ? That part. Yeah, they will. But look, they better put me on for that show. I'm gonna be pissed if I'm gonna work that one. I would love to see Stevie Wonder live. So that's bragging rights right there. And they said, please discuss the Chester Bennington situation. I need to be on time with that live. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that one. I forgot to bring that story up because I was putting the show together. It was just a lot happening that was coming out within the last 24 hours. And then I remember because I had seen it, and it's funny how we talked about this. So I was like, oh, Chester Bennington, I forgot to bring that story up. So I'm gonna say that for tomorrow. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And they said protect them knees. Exactly. You gotta protect them knees. Shit, the only time I'll be on, when I get to be that age, it's like you still want to be able to get on your knees and slop the knob. And if you can't do that with all that pain going through your body from all that wear and tear from that touring. But anyway, let's get into the rest of the show because we have how many more topics? 7. Ooh, let's get through these. Let's get through the show. But I appreciate the comments. Keep them coming. Okay, so we got 2 topics in regarding Jennifer. So let's get into it. So it says J-Lo. Well, this is what I wrote because I had to write my messy stuff up here. Now, Jennifer's Agatha All Along-esque prayer circle moment with Matt Damon at the TIFF after party for their movie Unstoppable may have worked in her favor because if you believe the recent rumors, it looks like Ben's bestie is Team Jennifer when it comes to their upcoming divorce. Because, they were recently at the thing together and they were standing around. I got the picture of them the way it looked like they deep in prayer. I call it the prayer circle. So Matt Damon has not been impressed by the manner in which Ben Affleck has handled his divorce, and an insider exclusively tells In Touch that he's laying into his old friend with both barrels and sticking up for Lopez in a big way. I had somebody asking me, why do you be calling her Hannaford? And this was on Facebook because he's a J-Lo fan. He's a J-Lo fan. And I'm like, because it's funny. And then number two, it's me playing up the whole Latina taco, South Park episode. So I call her Hannaford. Being Jenny from the Block, J-Lo, all the other stuff, it's a little old hat. It's funny to call her Hannaford. So we're saying Hannaford has been confiding a lot in Matt, not just in Toronto, but during recent weeks as well. This is what the source reveals. She's found him to be calming influence and is hopeful their friendship will last beyond the marriage. Plus, she'd like to work with him down the line, too. Luciano, you better get your man. Because I don't trust Hannaford as far as I can throw her. Because I be thinking she thinking, this friendship thing. I don't know what it means to be friends with her. It do feel like it feels a little man-poachy to me, based off her reputation. And Matt looks good, by the way. He is getting up there in age. They go to prayer circle photo. So if they want to work together, that's great. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't like that. It makes me feel a little squeamish when you have the significant other who is about to no longer be the significant other of your bestie, who's trying to become between a friendship that has lasted for decades. Like, Ben and Matt came up together. They wrote Good Will Hunting. They both won an Oscar for it. So they broke into the industry at the same time. They're like lifelong friends. And to have pussy, vagina, come in between a friendship, I don't like that. Because I do feel like it comes to that point where it's like, well, now that I'm doing this, I have to worry about when you're friends with somebody and they have a significant other, it's like, yeah, you came in through that situation. Once they break up, but you've been cool with the person that they were in a relationship with, do you continue that friendship with the ex of your boy or girl, if you're, female friends? Or do you ditch them because they're no longer in the picture? Bros before hoes. I'm not calling him for a hoe. Wink, wink. But but it makes me wonder in that sense of like, yeah, bros before hoes. It's like we was cool before you came in the picture, and yeah, you was cool when we were together, and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But I don't know if we can maintain that friendship because I gotta be loyal to my friend over here that I've known longer than you. So they said that it's been very difficult for Matt to sit by and condone or even forgive Ben's behavior, which he finds cruel and totally unwarranted. He's not trying to butt in for the sake of it and can see very well the life that with J-Lo is likely a challenge, but not to a point where she deserved to be humiliated and degraded. Matt's big on manners. His wife, Luciana Barroso, also agrees that Ben handled the situation with a serious lack of empathy or class, and they're not even shy letting him know that. Well, I will say that, you know what, I do love that goes to show that's a true friend. Because if I'm friends with somebody and you being a dick, it's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna have to call you out in your mess. And, I love you, but the way you're going about it is ridiculous. I have noticed that, yes, Ben has been a little given the cold shoulder. He's been a little shady. He's been very dismissive. He's kind of just turned his back on her. But then we keep seeing this back and forth with them, where at one point they're going out to dinner together at the Beverly Hills Hotel with the family. They recently had like a recent outing with, I guess, for the kids in school or whatever the case is. So we keep seeing Hannaford and Ben together when it comes to the kids. I do feel like there needs to be a point where if y'all start a divorce, that transitional period where she needs to start to ex-nay herself out of the family A, situation A. Meaning she needs to stop hanging around his and Jen Garner kids if y'all trying to do this split. Because you continuing to assert yourself in a situation, it's confusing everybody. It's like, is she still gonna be my stepmother or no? Like, what's going on? And don't even get me started on her twins. Them kids probably already messed up the way she be, pop dipping and spitting on new peen every couple of years. So this codependency thing, when it comes to relationships, is probably rubbed off on the twins. So it said Matt Damon has not been impressed with the manner in which Ben has handled his divorce, and an insider told In Touch that he's laying into his old friend with both barrels and sticking up for Lopez in a big way. Jennifer has been confiding a lot in Matt, not just in Toronto, but recent weeks as well. She found him to be calming, and she said she'd like to work with him down the line. She also adds it's been very difficult for Matt to sit by and condone or even forgive Ben's behavior, which he finds unwarranted. At the time, they said a source told people that Jen and Matt began talking and having a long, deep conversation. The two friends laughed and spoke more seriously, and for several minutes, they clasped hands as they spoke, which you see in this photo. And this is based off that movie Unstoppable, which Matt and Ben are producing. Of course, Ben wasn't going to go because, it would have been awkward the whole damn night. And, the press would have been salivating at the mouth just to get a photo out of that and they can run with it. But Matt, of course, being a producer, he had to show up. And because Matt seems like the more stand-up guy out of the whole situation, he pretty much ain't going to take no ish. Ben, to me, seemed like more the woman's body part. What was it? So it says an additional source previously told In Touch that Matt felt pretty bad for Jennifer in light of the split, saying he's been liaising with her on a roll out of the movie, so he's on calls with her all the time, and she has opened up to him about how much she's hurting. He's been trying to reason with Ben a little bit more and be a bit more compassionate to the fact that she's humiliated right now. Now, while the source said that Matt's loyalty is always going to be with Ben, the insider acknowledged that he's known the guy long enough to know he has demons and is by no means perfect. And I do agree with that. And I feel like when you know your friends, you can speak to things that the girlfriend or the wife or whatever would not be privy to and understand. Because I do feel like when you have a bromance, like a bro friendship, I do feel like guys confide in guys more. Me being a guy, I think I know this, that we tend to I confide in my boys a lot more about things than I would my significant other. Like we'll sit and have like real deep conversations. Even my straight guy friends, they'll tell me something about their girls or whatever the case is, and I'm telling them about guys that I've been in situations with, and it's sort of like there's an understanding there of like the things that we can all relate to in that sort of way. So when you have this sort of thing, I do feel like she's using Matt as a way to get through this, man, because she's tried in so many ways based off of what I'm pulling from this article on how that relationship has been with her and Ben. And Ben, I don't feel like is going to be able to talk to her in a way that he can confide in his friend Matt with. And Matt understands, so he's going to go and they're going to have that thing. And maybe, there are certain people where it's like you can get through to them more so than their significant other. So I think it's like also when it comes to me and my family, some people feel like I can get through to my dad in a lot of ways and none of them can. Like he'll listen to me before he listens. This is the overall assessment of people who hate on my friendship, of my relationship with my parents and stuff, like siblings, whatever the case is. They'll be like, oh yeah, maybe if you speak to your father about situations, then he'll listen because he don't listen to nobody. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm his older son or whatever the case is. So I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's the overall assessment. Some people feel that way when it comes to things. There are certain people, whether it's friendship, whatever the case is, that they feel that person can get through to them more than they can. So maybe that's why she's probably going through. But I wouldn't trust it because I'd be feeling like Jennifer could be a little manipulative her damn self. So it says that he can't help but feel a lot of sympathy for Jennifer. This is what the source said about the Jason Bourne star. He's trying to play Switzerland and smooth things over on both sides, but Ben is not taking it well at all. To even suggest that he was somehow at fault really rubs him the wrong way. He says if Matt or anyone were in his shoes, they would have run from the marriage 10 times faster. I'm like, damn, is she that insufferable? That y'all sitting there saying that if Matt or anyone were in his shoes, they would have run from that marriage 10 times faster. But here's the thing. If Jennifer is that awful, then who the hell told you to walk down the aisle and marry her? Like at some point, you got to be able to take responsibility for the fact that you the one that decided to go to the Justice of the Peace down in Vegas and get married. And then y'all decide to have the big extravaganza at the plantation down in Georgia. See, y'all don't want to call it that, but that's what the hell it is. It's a plantation that he bought. Y'all decide to get down at the slave quarters, get married down there. and project what we got. And now 2 years later, just like how it lasted 20 years ago with your previous relationship, now you want to sit out here and be like, oh, well, she's insufferable. Well, guess what? You made your bed. Now you need to lie in it. And you need to be a man, grow some corners, try to, play play down there a little bit, try to figure out where they are, pull them up, pull up your big boy pants and your drawers, be a man, and face the situation that you put yourself in. We're not all just gonna put this on her. Because it takes two to tango. So I'm tired of this whole thing about Ben trying to be like this insufferable, sad little victim. Grow up. You're too old for this. You're in your 50s. Grow up. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. If y'all are Team Hannibal, I should say, or Team Ben, or if you feel that Matt should just stay out of grown folk business. But if she keep dragging him in, what do you want to do? But like I said, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have comments. Let's go on up to them. Because I see taco, burrito. It said Matt Damon is right though. Ben Affleck did Jennifer wrong. I think it's like they're equal on both sides. She's probably insufferable, but then the way he's going about certain things, like he needs to grow up and if she's being a pain in your ass, let her know. And if she's not willing to learn, grow, and all this other stuff, then yeah, it's time to get a divorce. But the way he's been acting with the cold shoulder thing, I don't know if that's a Leo thing, because she's a Leo too, and you would think she would understand. But I guess with her, ego and narcissism the size of Texas, then maybe it's that she doesn't see it. Because when you got them rose-colored glasses on, you be acting like your shit don't stink. And it's funny, somebody even said that about they said, oh, I don't like Leos because they be acting like their shit don't stink. I said, you know what? I know a couple, so I think I know. Matt Damon looked exasperated and exhausted at that prayer circle moment. Yes, taco, burrito. Jennifer does not want to leave the cool kids table when it comes to Hollywood. Absolutely. And I truly feel like, you want to know something? I definitely feel, no shade, but I feel like Jennifer got with Ben because I feel like she thought that he could help with her career in the movies. Jennifer Lopez's movie career has not been the greatest in a while. I heard some tea that they told me she's doing another rom-com, that she just sold it to Netflix. I'm like, girl, nobody wants a rom-com from you. Rom-coms ain't doing what need to be done anymore. Rom-coms is tired. Nobody, who cares about rom-coms are stupid. And she's done so many of them now. It's like, girl, you pretty much doing the same shit over and over. I just would love to see, I don't know, I think maybe what needs to happen with Jennifer is that she needs to get more into, why aren't you working with like a lot of these high profile stars? Why aren't you doing an A24 movie? Why aren't you doing like a Long Legs or something like that? I'm not saying if the movie's good or not, but why aren't you doing a Long Legs? Why aren't you doing a horror film? Why aren't you, why don't she, look, if they looking for a part for someone to play, it's funny how we was talking about Salma Hayek or whatever, or Sofia Vergara, but why can't she play Christina Carpenter? That would be, the mother of the Carpenter sisters in Scream. Why won't she do like a Scream type movie or a slasher film? We haven't seen her do that. Like, I love The Cell. I love Out of Sight. She needs to do more stuff like that. Maybe even go back to the drawing board. Maybe even do, they were talking about redoing a Anaconda movie. They rebooting it. Why don't you sign up and do that? That's a little nostalgia there. The fans would eat that up. If you had like a little cameo or something or another, or maybe like a legacy sequels thing, like a Laurie Strode type character that, survivor of that movie, and they kind of interject you in that. But I just feel like with Jennifer, or be a part of an ensemble, I think the problem with her is she got this ego and she just wants to do like, I want to be the star. I want to be the number one on the call sheet. I just feel like you need to look at some of these movies you're doing, because the stuff you've been producing has been trash. The Mother was not a good movie. Atlas was not a good movie. That other movie, Shotgun Wedding, was terrible. So she's been doing a lot of bad stuff. I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe the industry is looking at her like she's washed up, and so the only thing that she can do is go straight to streaming with her movies. She's just churning out a lot of quality. A lot of quantity and not enough quality. So it said Matt Damon married a single mother and has been with her for decades. Why does this kept? Did Ben really write Good Will Hunting, or did Matt do his? We have seen Ben Affleck's movies. We all know Matt Damon is the much better actor, and Ben is his best when he works. Yeah, I've never really looked at Ben as being like this big major actor. Although I did like him as Batman, though. But I will say this: my there's so many great Batmans. Michael Keaton will always be my Batman because that's who I grew up on. But if I had to choose a Batman that I'm really loving at the moment, it would have to be Robert Pattinson. I never particularly cared for um Christian Bale's Batman. That little voice that he would do irritated me. Like, shut up with that stupidness. That used to irritate my spirit. But I did like Robert Pattinson's Batman, which I can't wait for them to do the Batman part 2. Because I love the Batman. And also, I need to get around to watch the Penguin because I'm hearing so many great things about episode 1, and I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. Miss Tara Lee said, "Oh, just wait. They are looking at her regarding Ooh, that's probably what it is. Well, maybe that explains why in the next time we get into it, we talk about Hennifer, is that she's been drinking, allegedly, a lot. Matt better leave her alone, okay? They said Ben Affleck is so selfish. Why even marry her? You could have just remained the fuck, but exactly. And that's what I keep saying about her. It's like, stop getting married. At this point, you in your 50s, you tried it 4 times. You were not Elizabeth Taylor. Well, then again, Elizabeth Taylor, when she was getting married and doing all the other mess she was doing, she didn't give a damn who man she was snatching. She just did it. But when it comes down to her, I would have just been like, just raise your kids. If you be like Madonna and share. Get you a man that's young, fertile, could just clean your pipes, between me down there, whenever you need it. Tell you how pretty you are. Carry your Chanel bag from one end to the next. And, be a little errand boy. Give him a little something financially. Take care of him. Fly him in and out. Have him be a little boy toy. Or your F buddy, as AAE says. And keep it moving. I don't understand why everybody feels in the end. I love love. No, you got to ditch it. To dick. You're dickmatized. There's a difference. I do not believe in the I love love. Like, this is not a Disney movie. Quiet as it's kept. Disney ain't put out no good stuff in a long time either. I don't know what's going on over there. That picture with Matt Damon and Ben and the wives. Notice the wine glass in front. There is no wine glass in front of Hennifer. Of course, her phone is on the table. We all know Hennifer stays working. Okay. Well, she drinking now. She trying to sell the hell out of that Delolo or Delulu, whatever the hell it's called. This is a great picture of the 4 of them. We all love the friendship with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Hollywood loves their friendship too. I do like that. I like that. But if she's trying to infiltrate the situation and basically using Ben to help further her career, which makes sense, is like, okay, so now she's starring in stuff that is being produced by Matt and Ben. She's trying to go for that Oscar. Because based off the Unstoppable movie with Jarrell Jerome playing this guy who, I forget what the name of this thing is, but I think he's an athlete and he is a double amputee or something or another. I have to relook that story up. But I think she's probably trying to go for an Oscar with her part. We'll see if it happens though. But I'm hearing that they're trying to put up Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga as best actress for their upcoming stuff. Ariana Grande for Wicked and Lady Gaga for how's that movie? Joker. But I heard she's barely in it. So what you but then again, y'all gave Dame Judi Dench an Oscar for playing the Queen for 10 damn minutes. So why we can't do that with Gaga, right? So Jennifer does not have Hollywood friends outside of Leah Remini. Well, their relationship is barely there, but I heard they have kind of rekindled since the breakup. Jennifer never built relationships with the Latino women in Hollywood. Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek are close, and neither fool exactly because Jennifer was walking around acting like her poop don't stink. And Salma, that's my Virgo twin. She and I were both born on September 2nd, alongside what the hell's his name? Keanu Reeves. I always forget him. And Cat Williams, who basically started off this whole this whole reckoning that's been going on with people. Look at my people from my day being soothsayers. I told you, we Virgos, we be predicting the future. We basically like Raven Baxter. Y'all could go directly in my eyes, see the future. And so they said digging the new. Oh, you heard it? Oh yeah, I think they did drop it. I totally forgot about her, but no shade. So did a lot of people. So they need to do a whole lot better at promoting her stuff. They said no samples, even if it's 90s house production. Katie failed where Ava Max succeeded. I'll give you the tea. She spilled that Atlantic fired a lot of artists, and she has no what? She has no team or whatever. Did she go? Oh, you said she has no manager but followed Kylie's footsteps and made a management house. You know what? That is smart. Because I'm like, if you're not gonna support my music, I'm gonna just go to Kylie Minogue direction. And I think that is smart on her part that she would do that. Because I actually like Ava Max, but I do feel like maybe based off of the industry and the way they've been treating her, is that sort of like she's this Lady Gaga wannabe, where some people say Lady Gaga's a Madonna wannabe. She's a Lady Gaga wannabe that basically puts out this mid-ass dance music. But it's like, if you've been in the industry long enough, it's like you work with who you want to work with, you really push and make the music you want to make, and then you too can be like Kylie Minogue. Get yourself a little management team that'll push your music. You get out there, you do your tours, and you get the promotion and the push that you need. Have them handle all of that, but you still have your eye on what's going on. Don't let the business people just take over. Lopez knows that he can help with her acting career. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that has seen this, because I've said this too. It's like the fact of the matter, the reason why she got with the diddler with her music. And she gets with people, whenever she gets with people, is like those who can help her career. It's sort of like what Ohani said when we talked about him. She chews people up and spits them out. Hannaford doesn't have the acting range to do much else, okay? I guess maybe what it was is that we ain't never seen a Puerto Rican from the Bronx excel as hard as she did. But yeah, when it comes down to it, just because you work a lot, you work hard, don't necessarily, it's like, okay, now let's look at the talent. Is the range there with the acting? Is the range there with the music? Do you do anything, She has it. But now I guess the dust is clearing and people are seeing it. She absolutely does not have the acting range. I remember when Lopez brought up Gwen. Oh, that was another one. How she had the gall, and I can't stand Gwen's pretentious behind. But when she had the overarching gall, the nerve, the cheek to come up in here and throw shade at Gwen's acting range. But bitch, you can barely act yourself. Sidebar, you know what? There's this movie. Damn, I forgot the name of it. There's this new movie that came out that's like a body horror film with Demi Moore that I've been hearing so much great reviews about. I need to see that damn film. I'm gonna go see that, and I can't wait for Terrifier 3 because I've heard amazing things about that movie too. Terrifier 3 has been getting great reviews. I'm definitely gonna go see that and review it for the show. But those are the two movies that I want to see because I've been hearing great things about. They said this is Demi Moore's comeback. Maybe she'll even get nominated for an Oscar if they decide to nominate body horror. To make a psychological thriller, like they did with Silence of the Lambs. That was a damn horror movie. It was no damn psychological thriller. Elizabeth Taylor can also act. We always forget Elizabeth Taylor's messy love life because, and she was messy. How she did Debbie Reynolds. But the late Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman. Oh yeah, I like the voice. I like Kevin Conroy and what he did with that character. I was just thinking Dame Judi Dench for Shakespeare in Love. She was on screen for 8 minutes and won Best Supporting Actress. Exactly. So I'm like, if Lady Gaga could barely be on the screen and get an Oscar, I said, look, they did it for Dame Judi Dench. They'll do it for her too. They'll be laying that ooey gooey, brujeria, boricua, kitty. Okay, she be putting that spell on people, doing that Santeria, but like that's me trying to pump my crotch. Like she be doing all that, be putting these men under a spell. Come, little children, I'll take you away. That's what her coochie be saying and be queefing it while she be around these men. That's how she be getting them. Anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Hannaford again. Who they said that she double her pay because she's so mad about Ben and how he treating her that, she drinking her wares away. I just had to pull up this picture for dramatic effect. We love drama on this show. So insiders claim her inner circle have grown seriously concerned and terrified she'll plunge into a dark abyss. This is according to Radar Online. Now, Hannaford, who's 55, has recently seen knocking back a glass of her Delulu It's Delola, but she's delusional about, people actually drinking that mess. It's called Delola Margarita Cocktail on her Instagram page, and sources claim she needed the liquid courage before meeting up with her estranged husband on September 4th. So did she show up to the door speaking slurred English and not being able to contain her composure? The source said the fact that she needed booze in her belly before the latest meeting with Ben kind of says it all. She appears to be self-medicating and unable to handle the raw reality of this divorce without some type of pick-me-up. They added she used to only drink socially, but now it's a big, okay, this ain't now. I think they messed up with they don't proofread over there at Radar Online, apparently. She used to only drink socially, but now it's a bigger part of her daily routine, and the cocktails she mixes up are pretty lethally strong, apparently lethally strong. And it's weird because they said that this Delola drink is low-calorie alcohol. I don't know what that tastes like, because when I do alcohol, I want the alcohol. I don't want no low-calorie stuff. I worry about my calories later when I'm working off all that liquor at the gym the next day. So I don't know nothing about no low-calorie alcohol. If y'all had the Delulu, let me know in the comments if y'all actually been able to see it in a store, if you ever purchased a bottle, and if you actually had some, what it tastes like. But now this is someone who said in the past that she's not a big drinker. She was never a drinker, but then all of a sudden she's out here selling liquor. Because as the grifter Hennifer is, she just trying to jump into every little genre and sell something. It's funny how people want to go in on Beyonce over the fact that she got all these things that she's out here selling, but nobody's calling out Hennifer on the things she's selling that they said is not part of her brand or who she is, especially when she said in the past she's not a drinker, but now all of a sudden she is. Or maybe I guess now that she's older, she's one of those late in life people who's like, okay, now I just want to have an occasional cocktail. I don't trust nobody to say they don't drink. But if you're a former addict or whatever, then I understand. People who run around being like, oh, I don't drink. Now, they said the insider noted Hennifer was not prepared for this breakup. She genuinely thought they would work through their troubles, but Ben just threw in the towel and walked. He's left her totally wrecked. Hennifer was clobbered a major backlash in 2023 when she launched her alcohol line. Fans slammed her venture as a cash grab due to her longtime rep as a teetotaler. I cannot with y'all with these words. A teetotaler. So they said critics also, which basically means that somebody has said that I don't drink. I just love when y'all be trying to crack out the thesaurus and use all these little words just to give a little more, give a little more ambiance to the situation. So critics also felt the launch was insensitive due to her then husband's well-known issues with alcohol and multiple rehab stints. But Hennifer quickly shot back after years of avoiding alcohol, saying that she'd taken up social drinking. She said, I know that a lot of people have been talking about like, oh, she doesn't even drink. What's she doing with a cocktail line? That was true for a long time. I didn't drink. A few years back, you will see from several photos of me out in the past 10, maybe 15 years, I've been having well, that's a damn lie, sis. It ain't been no damn 15 because your career has been it's been lasting about as long as 15 years or whatever. Now I guess it's been 3 decades because she came out in 99. That's when her career really hit big. When did Selena come out? 97? But then the music career kicked off in 99. So that's like 20 something, that's almost 30 years. But in the past 15 years, since we wasn't seeing you out drinking. Like I just showed a picture that we just saw with where it was her, Ben, Luciana, who is Matt Damon's wife, and Matt Damon sitting at a table. And she ain't had no glass in front of her. So what type of story are you trying to tell us? I do feel like there's a money grab. And nobody's trying to say like, okay, yeah, she doesn't have the occasional drink. But if that's the narrative you're trying to sell, is like, there should have been photos of you out there actually drinking so that way we could have, seen it. So that way it'd be more believable. It's kind of like what people thinking like Beyonce out here selling whiskey, but they don't believe that whiskey is actually her drink of choice. Now, I drink whiskey. And people who know me know that I drink whiskey. They see me out, I get my whiskey and Coke, or sometimes I drink it straight. So if I decide to come out with a whiskey line tomorrow, y'all would actually believe it because that is my drink of choice. I'm not really big on vodka. I'm not really that big on tequila, although I will do tequila shots if I'm with my friends. But if I do that, I don't mix. I don't do the light and the dark. because then you will see the reincarnation of Lucifer in the vicinity if I do mix the light and the dark. I'm going scorched earth. I'm going to black out. I ain't going to know what the fuck happened. Okay, so then it also went and said the singer has sparked fears among her inner circle who expressed concerns about her social drinking turning into a risky habit. An insider said she's really struggling emotional right now, and the big worry among her friends is that she's using alcohol as a crutch. J-Lo saying a few drinks to take the edge off is the least she deserves, which is a fair point, but it seems so out of character. While Hennifer was said to be humiliated over the split, other sources claim the Gone Girl actor had to quit their marriage because her glam lifestyle was putting his sobriety at risk. A source said the marriage was incredibly overwhelming. Hennifer loves a very glam lifestyle, and he is often faced with temptation. They noted while Hennifer may be able to enjoy the occasional cocktail, there's no middle ground for addicts like Affleck. And that is true. When you are someone who is an addict, and once you are an addict, you will always be an addict. Even when you spend years in rehab and you're always trying to follow those 12 steps, there's always going to be that temptation. And when you're around people who all they care about is the next big grift and sell the next big product because nothing is ever enough, especially when it's like you are a producer, you're doing movies, you're doing music, you have all these endorsement deals, and you're trying to sell the next big product so that way you can get that check, so that way you can live the extravagant, lavish lifestyle that she's been accustomed to. And Ben is like this regular jeans and t-shirt type of guy who maybe suffers from imposter syndrome, who's got a lot of demons that he's trying to drown with the, at the bottom of a bottle, or whatever the case is. That's not something he wants to play in. So he wants to remove himself as far away from that as humanly possible, and it's totally understandable. So but then again, I feel like as a man, you should be able to talk out whatever your issues were and try to work them out. If there's no middle ground, if there's no way that you can work out the things you want to work out, whatever issue you have with your wife, because remember, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, for sickness and in health, all of that stuff is said in those vows that y'all got up there and said twice, one time in Vegas and the other time at the plantation. If you can't sit and figure all that out and follow through with all of that, you want to just, oh yeah, I just can't do it, it's too much. Then you don't need to be married any damn way, because you're not man enough to handle your situation. But I say all this to say, in the words of Mommy Dear Cher, we always knew that Hennifer knew where to find the booze and the boys. I always wanted to say that line when it came to her. She always knew where to find the booze and the boys. But anyway, so that was a whole lot. I would say, what do y'all think of this story? Do I think that she's drowning her sorrows in alcohol? I hope not. Because, yeah, I feel like a lot of times if you do drink, or you're not a drinker, and all of a sudden you kind of just stumble into that. And I was like, oh, this tastes good. This, it's maybe a little healthy or whatever the case was, it's not a lot of alcohol in it. It's like the little fancy cocktail that I can have. Like I'm hanging out with friends and I'm having like a little dinner situation, which is kind of like what I would be doing if I was her age. It was like, you have a big house, you have your yard, you have friends over, and it's like you bring out your drink, you have like the little cocktails, and you just kicking with your friends and the people at the party. You just having a little drink and throwing it back, whatever the case is. But she's new to the whole alcohol thing. She's not a big drinker, but I hope like she's not one of those that's like a when you say social drinker, like you just somebody that could just throw them back all night and then you just be clean for like weeks and then you go back to the binging. So I really hope that she's able to work with some girl, as they were saying before, when you were trying to put out the music or the new music, the kiss off song, whatever it is you're doing, just write your little songs, write your little diary, write it all down, use that as inspiration, just get all that out of your system. Don't use the alcohol as a crutch, because that's the worst thing you could do is excuse me, this damn cold is killing me. Go through the traumas through alcohol. Self-medication is not it. So I want to hear what you guys think about this story. Let me know whatever your thoughts are in the comments down below. Child Cleveland said, wouldn't alcohol affect did I say that about somebody? Oh yeah, who did I say that about? Perry Farrell with Jane's Addiction. with him drinking that big old bottle of wine on stage and then wonder why his voice sounded a mess. I said that too. I was like, you are shady. So wouldn't alcohol affect her singing? Child, but look, over the years, the alcohol ain't been affecting it. It ain't stopped her. Them non-vocals. Hennifer is 55 years old with teenage twins. She is worth $500 million. She needs to find contentment in herself, so she is going to replace her devoid with alcohol. Well, look, we all have our vices, right? It's like she dickmatized. She going from that being an alcoholic, allegedly. Well, that is just great. Okay, y'all better keep the shade coming because we about to go into this shade. Let's talk about Hennifer's former mentor, because remember she used to dance with Miss Janet back in the day. Let's talk about Janet and how out of touch she is with reality. Because an article with The Guardian dropped yesterday, and she was left out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool. So echoing a well-trodden disinformation that has infected the U.S. presidential election, pop icon Janet Jackson said that she heard Kamala Harris, the VP who's trying to become the first female president of the United States of America, she's in black. And this is what she heard. I wonder who told her that. Was it Randy? Because it seemed to be that she's allowed that heifer to just have control over everything. Her music, which she talked about in the thing. So I want to lay it out before I read her for points. Because, I live for Janet, but girl, you got to be a couple of strays up in here. So I got the gun already cocked and ready to go off. So in the article, she did talk about her son, Issa, and how she wants him to be a kid. And I love that because she said she's been working since she was a baby. She has no memorabilia, anything in the house in regards of like all of her clothes, any Grammys, all that stuff. She's like, I know I won a Grammy. I know how many albums I sold. I don't need all that in the house. So that way it's a reminder of who I am. She thinks all that is corny. And I actually agree with her on that. She also is forced to live in London. Didn't really talk about it much, but we know why, because of that We Saw man that she was married to, the billionaire. He does a lot of business in London. So therefore, with her having a child with him, I guess per their agreement, she has to live in London with him and the kid. Well, not with him, but she lives in London. The kid is with her. He needs to be able to, I guess, come in and out and see the kid. So she don't even live in the United States anymore. She also talked about Black Diamond, which I guess the janitors, I guess that's what they call her fans, like the Beehive in the Rihanna Navy. She mentioned the new album, talking about that she had a clean house. I don't know if it was business affairs, whatever the case is, and then said that she's waiting on Randy. She's recorded a lot of music. She's just waiting on him. Why are you waiting on him? First of all, it's not Randy Jackson presents Janet Jackson new album, whatever the case is. If you're supposed to put out Black Diamond, put the damn album out. Why are we waiting on your brother to decide what you want to do with your music? So is he in control of your album? You wrote a whole album called Control, sis. A whole album you have called Control. A whole song you have about control because your daddy was controlling you. But it seems like you don't have control over your own life still. Your husband, your ex-husband, we saw him controlling the situation with you and your kid. Your brother controlling your damn music. And now you have no control over what the hell's going on politically when you came out with a whole album called Rhythm Nation 1814, where you talked about social injustices of the world, but you that damn dense and obtuse where you don't know what the hell's going on? Make it make sense. But this is the same chick that's been doing the same damn two-step since 30 years ago. Same choreography, no change up in the music, giving everybody the same thing over and over, expecting different results. They call that the definition of insanity. But I digress. So Janet Jackson appeared to question the fact that Kamala Harris, who is the VP and Democratic presidential nominee, being black. In an interview with The Guardian, and you know what? Shout out to The Guardian because they definitely know how to expose. Y'all do interviews, but then y'all wind up showing people how dumb a lot of these celebrities are. They did it with RuPaul when he came up with that, when they did that interview back in the day, and them was that all black. Or maybe these are the people I care about, so that's how I remember. They did it with RuPaul when they interviewed him about the whole thing about trans on Drag Race and how he was talking about augmentations and all the other stuff and pissed off the trans community, and they windmilled him over his comments, called him transphobe and everything. Then they did it with Billy Porter when he was out here talking about how he doing, his James Baldwin biopic. but started talking about Israel and Hamas and this whole situation. Had no information on it. Talking about he want peace, but they're saying there's other misinformation that that's clearly Zionist talking points. And now we have Janet Jackson who don't know about people ethnicity. When Google says it's free, you don't need permission from Randy to use that. So, in The Guardian, which was published yesterday, the reporter asked the pop star where she stands on the forthcoming election, with America on the verge of voting in its first female black president. She said, well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. It appears that she's not aware that Harris is both black and Indian, which the reporter explained to Jackson. Well, you know, she said her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Now, first of all, sis, a few days ago wasn't when they was talking about the fact of what her ethnicity is. This has been an ongoing conversation for years, even back when Kamala Harris was the VP nominee. This has been going on for almost, how long ago? 4 years. Yeah, because 4 years with the presidency. And then now we're about to go into if she becomes, please, because I can't with Trump another 4 damn years. So almost 5 years we've been having this conversation. So what the hell is she talking about a couple of days? Like, this is just new news. Now, you know, this is of course false because they said that Harris's father, Donald J. Harris, was born in Brownstown, Jamaica, and grew up in Jamaica. Her mother, Shyamala Gopalan Harris, was born in Chennai, India, and died in 2009. Chennai, tomato. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but if I'm not, I apologize. Harris's parents divorced in 1971, and as The Guardian points out, those who question Harris's heritage tend to be hardcore QAnon-adjacent, Trump-loving conspiracy theorists, which the reporter concluded that Jackson was likely neither. Well, I don't think that she is, but it just goes to show that whoever is in her inner circle feeding her this political information clearly is a QAnon-adjacent, Trump-loving conspiracy theorist. So, where the hell is she gathering all this misinformation from? And then, you know, Donald Trump, this is all the stuff that he's been saying, where he didn't know that Harris was black and keeps, you know, using all these little talking points and using like a lot of racist, I ain't even gonna say undertones or dog whistles. It's a damn bullhorn he's been using. So I just don't understand how somebody who wrote an entire album addressing the social injustices of the world as in Rhythm Nation 1814 doesn't, you know, how you coming across is completely out of touch with what's going on around her. I just don't understand that. Who is the moron in her inner circle feeding her this information? I truly believe it's Randy. Because who else would it be? She ain't in no relationship. Also, how do you have an entire song called The Knowledge? A song you opened your damn previous tours with, by the way, but lacked the political knowledge during this interview. And also, like I said before, if you're not sure about her ethnic background, Google is free. It's a free independent site you can use to help you research that information. So sis, GOOGLD.com, if you need help spelling it. Look it up. But that ain't all. Now, I did take a gander over at Twitter because, you know, her name is trending on the social media. And here's what they said. Child, when I was reading them comments, I was screaming. One person said, all Janet Jackson needs to know is Kamala Harris is blacker than Michael's children. Another person, it was like Janet Jackson, every time she sees Kamala Harris, they played a clip of Precious asking Mariah Carey, what color are you? You Indian or white or something? They was, and she was like, what do you think I am? She said, like, so you Italian? Like, they was asking all these little races. So they was asking her that. Another person said, dear Janet Jackson, Kamala Harris is as black or blacker than your son, all three of your ex-husbands, and the vast majority of your nieces and nephews. Sincerely, if you don't know, now you know news. I'd say they're about to read her down to the floor because a lot of them like mixing their babies, changing up their nose, and want to look completely different because they hate who they are in regards to how they look. Another person said, all Janet Jackson needs to know is, I think I did post that one about her blackening children or whatever. Because I was trying to see if I had any more. Okay, so another say, as a true 90s girl, I'm deeply sad to discover Janet Jackson is stupid. A tiny part of me just died. Another person said, apparently Janet Jackson lives under a rock. Another person said, this whole Janet Jackson thing just goes to show you how out of touch some celebrities are. I've always loved her, but repeating lies SMH, if you don't know about a subject, then don't speak on it, and especially with your platform. Educate yourself, please. And I feel like that's the most important thing that needs to be said about this with this conversation. Another person said, icons are allowed one slip up in their career, in my opinion. I don't believe Janet Jackson has enough political impact to swing the election in a significant way, so I'm choosing to ignore the misstep for the sake of her iconery. And nobody is discounting the fact that she is an icon. I do believe that Janet Jackson has been someone that a lot of artists, like a Beyonce, like a Tanashi, like and Aaliyah, so many of these other girls, Rihanna, have taken so much of her, and who else? Yeah, SZA. A lot of these girls have taken from the Janet Jackson playbook and have been able to take it to the next level. So we're not discounting Damita Joe and her impact on the music and pop culture. But when you're asked a question and you come out and you say something crazy, you should be reprimanded for it. Nobody is beyond reproach. She put her foot in her mouth on this one. And it's not about whether or not she has enough political impact. She is in a place, a position of power, especially when she is the one who I believe, as a Black woman, really put it out there in regards of exposing the social injustices of the world, racism, gender inequality, homophobia, all the isms. She has incorporated that throughout her career in her music, from the Velvet Rope, or I should say, from Rhythm Nation 1814 to the Velvet Rope. She's incorporated all that. So when you go and say, oh, she doesn't have enough political impact, she's dabbled in that space when she's explored that through her music and on stage. So therefore, if you've put yourself in a position of being that girl as a performer, why wouldn't the reporter ask you that? I forgot to also mention they asked about the whole Nipplegate with Justin Timberlake, and she didn't. It seemed like she wasn't comfortable answering the question, but she did imply like, whenever we be windmilling hard for her out here during every time the Super Bowl halftime situation, she said that she feels that Justin. Like what happened with how y'all be dragging him over the whole Nipplegate situation and how she took the fall while his career flourished, justified. And yes, that was intentional using Justified, because that was the name of his debut solo album. So let's do one more and then we can get up off this. I want to see if there's another one. So I agree with some of y'all. So they said, just call me Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles because I'm not seeing and reading why these legendary Damita Joe, aka Janet Jackson, is trending. Okay, so they talking about her flawless discovery. So you're clearly just about as slow as Janet is with that comment. The very least Janet Jackson could have done is believe what her eyes was telling her and then do the minimum of research. SMH, this ish ain't right. Goddamn hard man, sigh. Okay, y'all had to put all that in here. And then one person posted, the last one they put Janet Jackson girl, and then posted something with New York. So anyway, y'all pretty much got the gist of how everybody feel. And I want to ask you this question: how do you feel about this story? So, do y'all feel like, okay, she's granted one mistake? I do get it. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's not gonna be able to say and do whatever it is. It's unfortunate that that's how she came across. She out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool. But like I said, if you don't know something, just say, I'm not really privy to whatever, and I don't want to discuss it. Like, I'm not getting caught up in that mess. You're not gonna get me. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know. Look, Google is your friend, sis. I say that to her and anybody. If you have a question, Google's free and is your friend. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now, speaking of comments, let's scroll on up. Ooh. Oh yeah, I read that one. Listen, I read that with the Sweat Tour, people wanted a Brat US tour, not a co-headlining tour with Troye Sivan, and people believe Troy is benefiting more from the Sweat Tour as his album bombed in the US. Well, yeah, I do agree. I definitely think it probably would have fared better with a Brat tour by itself, but I do feel like with Troye Sivan being a part of it, it definitely will try to help with his sales. So I do agree with that to an extent that Troy is benefiting more. He's benefiting more, not her. Like Troy, I mean, Charlie gonna be fine. Charlie could do whatever, any kind of venue. She could do a small little venue in Brooklyn and still turn out the same amount of people as she would as an arena at the arena. So I'll definitely see tomorrow, like how many people will be in that audience during the Troy part of the show versus when people come in for Charlie, because I have seen many a times when I work shows that depending on who's there, how full the bowl gets. And so, in all honesty, when I look at Kamala, especially pics of her in the 90s, she looks like a light-skinned black woman, and Kamala speaks like a Cali girl. Is that what she is from Cali, right? And so apparently Ace, well, child, name them. In the words of my girl Sutton Strike, name them. So a lot of people wanted to go to the tour, but only Charlie XCX, so they're hoping for a solo Brat Arena tour. But we'll see. I don't think you'll get a solo Brat Arena tour, though. We'll have to see how that all works out. I think this is what everybody's going to get for now. And I think if she decides to do another go round, she'll do another go round. So the ex-husband had her cover up. Well, yeah, because based off the outfit they said she was wearing in the show, in the interview, that she was covered even they said it was hot outside. I'm like, sis, you're no longer part of that situation unless that's part of the divorce agreement. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Wissam is, taking care of her financially in a lot of situations. Even though she got her own money, when you marry a billionaire, clearly, like, he's the one with more of the money than Janet. So she's probably being taken care of in a lot of ways, especially with her being the mother of his child. Janet never speaks about anything, nothing, until some malicious interviewer said, well, yeah. And that's what it's like. You got to be aware when it comes to these type of, what do you call it? When it comes to people like The Guardian, they do that. The Guardian is notorious for they got them type interviews, like when I brought up, Billy Porter. Which, let's go to Double A, what Double A said. Why is Billy Porter even discussing the Israel-Palestine issue of all the matters to not discuss when you are not familiar? Exactly. And I think it's because it was around the time when they were asking him about, oh my God, why am I thinking of Bayard Rustin? It's not even who he's about to play. I'm gonna get my black homosexuals mixed up. But yeah, because of the person that he's playing, and how he was big on like the whole thing. He was very pro-Palestine in his political beliefs. But you have somebody who wants to play this role is not familiar on where his stance was in regards of Palestine and racism and all these things, but you want to play this part. So it's like you cosplaying, and some of the stuff he said with the character and all that other mess, the stuff you saying is basically making it seem like, oh, here you go. This is an Oscar grab for you. You don't even care about this character. You don't even care about the person that you're playing. Well, the real life person he's playing, because he's not playing a character, but he referred to him as a character, which he's not. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Janet live in the Middle East with her man? No, she lives in London because he does business in London. And y'all are asking her about American political. She don't give. Well, look, she gave a fuck enough to answer. And when you talking about ask her about American politics, first of all, she was born and raised in America. She should know about what's going on in American politics. Even if you're not getting the information through the BBC, the internet is long and wide and it's worldwide. So you can look up some information to find out what's going on in America besides getting the earful from Randy. So her brother been getting in her ear. That's what I've heard, that he's a Trump supporter. The Guardian is British, but yeah, I know. Also, Randy has a pic with RFK, the same one that allegedly was out there having a whole sexting affair with another woman while he's with Cheryl Hines, and she's been real quiet about it. I said, kind of similar to his whole campaign and him supporting Trump. She don't talk. Apparently, her acting career dried up. She started running off with that mouth. And so they said, I knew someone was going to mention Michael's children. Well, they always going to do that. The kids, unfortunately, going to get to stray. But it ain't just him. They all mixed race up in there. That whole family's a mess. Like, didn't Jermaine's wife get with Tito's wife? Or Tito get with Jermaine's wife? One of them. They both swapped wives, and she had kids with the both of them. And now they got their cousin, brother, sister, whatever. Nasty. That whole family's a mess. And so Joe done fucked all them kids up. Mentally, she clearly didn't want to speak on it. She was confused as to what to say and what her race was. Yeah, a lot of people get misinformation, but you know what? Sometimes maybe it's like we need to hear it in the context of the conversation. But even if the reporter is trying to correct her, but that's not what I heard. I heard this. I'm like, well, sis, your information is wrong, and here's why. I'm trying to save you. And not just Black female artists have taken inspiration from Janet. Yeah, exactly. Britney has also, and says she is still being controlled. Wrote an album called Control and still being controlled. Ain't that the oxymoron? The Britney is definitely Janet Jackson's firstborn. Okay. I mean, yeah, Madonna is someone she takes, but Janet Jackson is definitely the blueprint for her. Kamala is just as black as Janet's kid. I said Justin Timberlake's #1 was Janet Jackson. Janet was Timberlake's favorite when he was growing up. And oh yeah, I seen that. We seen the same documentary. And here you go, throw 100 there. Oh yeah, but she was your fave until it was time to save your damn career. Then you ain't know her like Mariah Carey, no Jennifer Lopez, right? It said, maybe I don't care about my parasocial relationship with my favorite artist, but I saw the headline yesterday. I giggled and moved on with my day. There is a damn gnat in here irritating me. I guess that's why they call them nasty. Y'all are nags. I'm about to kill this motherfucker. With such confusion, don't it make you want to scream? Jan fan was turning it into a bigger deal. Well, I may have to watch some of those discourses. Okay, Charlie and Troy are not solo sections, but different acts. Like Troy does one, then Charlie repeat. Yeah. I guess it works out that way, but we'll see. But nobody's talking about Shy Girl. She opens the show. Just let the audience know it's a different headlining. So, well, look, I'll give y'all the information tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, Tuesday, because tomorrow's the show. And so that's a good point. Jenna never speaks about anything. She's incredibly well media trained. This interview with the Guardian sounds, yeah. Look, I told her they notorious, so they got a moments. Well, that's why she said she's done good at interviews. I said, but Chris doesn't live in America. Wait, she doesn't live in America. Why should she care about what we have going on? Well, that's because even if I no longer live in America, I would have deep concern because I have family that live there. And I would, in my mind of being empathetic, I would be worried about what's happening with my family members and those who are going to be affected by the policies that are in place in that country. And so you don't see Mexicans caring about the Mexican. Well, they don't. Well, look, but there's a difference with that. But the Mexicans, when they leave Mexico to come to America, they trying to get away from that mess over there with them politics and the fascist mess that's going on there. There, Venezuela, a bunch of other places. When a lot of those immigrants leave those countries, yeah, they don't care about what's going on over there. They don't get involved because they understand the overall fascism. They know what it looks like. So they try to get away from that because they want a better way of life for their family. So when they come to America, it's like, oh yeah, we don't have to deal with all that stuff. But if we let Trump get in, then he ain't gonna be no different than them other fascists in them other countries that those people are dealing with what they dealing with. So I totally understand. Jermaine, Jermaine and all that damn grease that we talked about that tar baby, and not to call him tar baby because all that tar he put in them hair, still running around with them Jerry curl like it's 1982. He want to party all the time. Look, I know that's an Eddie Murphy song. Janet be hating because Kamala got that good hair. Ooh. I ain't getting into that. Okay, how many more topics we got? We got 1, 2, 3. 3 more topics and we out of here. Because I gotta go. I got a show to do tonight. So early call. So if y'all have not already, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Now, without further ado, let's get into our next topic, which is, speaking of nut jobs and things, Lady Gaga's father apparently is out here supporting Donald Trump. I almost forgot. I was like, yeah, that's the story. So yeah, apparently that was a story. Like over the years, he's been very much in conservative stuff, and now there's a report that has come out that he has endorsed Donald Trump for president. So Joe Germanata is giving us a million reasons to hate him. Now, Lady Gaga's father, Joe Germanata, has endorsed Patriot. Ain't shit patriotic about that man. Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 election. Germanata also thanked Elon Musk despite the billionaire being investigated over assassination tweets about Kamala Harris. Now, while his singer daughter has not publicly yet, I should say, publicly endorsed any candidates. Gaga is a staunch supporter of LGBTQ plus rights and sang the national anthem at President Joe Biden's inauguration, which, in case y'all didn't remember that, that is what she did. So they also said in an interview with Fox News on the September 19th, Germanata, an Upper West Side restaurateur, called Trump, and well, probably a restaurateur because Gaga paid for that damn restaurant that he's working in, called Trump and Kamala Harris two vastly different people, saying one of them is pure and he's a patriot. And the other, the Joanne Trattoria owner, continued, is just going to say whatever she needs to say to get elected. That's basically what I hear. Well, maybe you need to swap your hearing aid and get one that actually can help you hear clearly, because whether or not you agree with either one of their policies, based on what I've seen and witnessed over Trump over the years and his grifting and all that other mess. Speaking of which, one of my one of the guys I work with actually did his Trump rally out in Nassau County. I asked him about that. He said it wasn't bad or whatever the case. They had people that was bringing people in, but it was the usual ranting and all that other mess. But Trump is the one who pretty much will say whatever he needs to say to get elected. Whereas Kamala is giving policy. Kamala is winning a lot of people over, including a lot of members of the Republican Party who are coming over to her side because they tired of Trump and his mess. So I don't know what the hell Germanata is about. And last I checked, isn't this the same group of people that was sitting up here whining and complaining over Taylor Swift publicly endorsing Kamala Harris? Y'all were mad over that. She don't have no influence over the whole politics or whatever the case, which is a lie, because last time she got a lot of people registered to vote. She's gotten more people registered to vote. Oh, she's gonna lose fans. She ain't lose no fans. In fact, she's gained more fans. Taylor Swift is a unicorn. Like, nothing affects this girl at all. Not even a thing. At least when we see at face value. She's a unicorn, like I said. But the closest y'all could get is Hercules, Chachi, I'm gonna say Chachki, not Bala Chachki, Chachi from Happy Damn Days, or Charles in Charge, Mario tight ass, too much wrestling in the face Lopez. Oh, he looks good. That's a lot of damn filler. It ain't got shit to do with the fact he's Latino. She's aging. She's had some work done too. Them eyes is looking a little cray-cray. And Lady Gaga's father. Y'all can't get no real celebrity. You got to get somebody whose sperm helped create one of the biggest pop stars in the world. That's the closest to a celebrity y'all can get. So he said, I'm not voting for people. I mean, well, Donald is a person, right? That's near here nor there. Or that could be, that's yet to be seen if he's actually a human being. I mean, look, Donald, yeah, he's abrasive. Okay, but he's a patriot and his policies are where is he patriotic? Especially when he's on the record talking mess about the military. Calling them weak for getting, or what was it? Didn't you say that Nutmeg McCain's father was weak for getting captured? Meanwhile, you out here faking bone damn spurs and using your father's money and influence to try to dodge the draft or not fight in the military. But this big bag heifer's a patriot? I don't think so. He is about as a patriot as you are as a chef or somebody who knows what the hell they talk about making in the food industry. Now, Germanano, who hails from Italian roots, and no shade, but I know a lot of Italians are conservative and believe in that whole Trumpism foolishness and racist. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Also share Trump's divisive views on immigration. Meanwhile, you a whole immigrant. Your family is immigrants, but you have an issue with immigrants? It make sense to me with a lot of this. It's been an invasion as far as I see it. Kind of like aliens, right? That's me asking the question. So y'all making it seem like it's just like this whole alien invasion that people just coming in and just taking up stuff, blowing things up, and we're all in danger. We need to run for the hills. So he said there's no more legal immigration. I endorse Donald Trump. I endorse his policies, freedom of speech. Thank you, Elon Musk. That's all I got to say. And I think y'all getting a lot of this confused. I think a lot of y'all are getting this thing where y'all think, oh, if y'all taking away my right to say what I want to say, me endorsing Donald Trump gives me permission to be a bigot, to go and discriminate against gay people, black people, women, anybody who's another. I do feel like that's one thing I love about comedy. Comedians are the soothsayers. They're the ones who get to say what other people are thinking, but don't have the balls to say it. So we just get up in there in that room with them and laugh. But then he's not a comedian. He's a clown. He's a clown, but he's not a comedian. But for the fact of him wanting to come up here and just say what he want to say, and we just supposed to just tolerate it, it's a no ma'am for me. But now let's get into Miss Gaga. Because now this makes me wonder, with this overall situation. So, since she's put herself in a position that she is so pro LGBTQIA plus, she's all for women who have been assaulted sexually because she is a victim of SA. Like she has admitted that she was SA'd back in the day. I don't think she's ever revealed who it was, but she has said that she is a victim of SA. She understands what all of that stuff is, mental health, abuse, all these other things, and has been a staunch supporter of the LGBTQ community. Now, the GOP is against that. They want to roll back the rights of the gays and the trans and all this other stuff. And even was applauded because that whole thing about her being a hermaphrodite, and she was like, well, I didn't make a big deal of it because I didn't want people thinking like, oh, if I was to go hard and be against it, then people would think that I made it seem like it was wrong to be a hermaphrodite or wrong to be transgender or all that other stuff. So she didn't come across as kind of like trying to shy away or shun away that whole situation. So with all that being said, now with her father coming out and supporting Donald Trump, is it up to Gaga to have to support Kamala Harris? Does she have to come out and be like, you know what, I love my dad and I don't believe in the same things that he believes in, and we are two different opponents politically. We agree or disagree on different things. He's a staunch conservative. I'm more liberal leaning or whatever the case was. A lot of Kamala's policies definitely align with mine. So this is what I'm going with. And if it's going to cause a rift in the relationship between the parent and the child, oh well, Gaga got her own money. She don't need to depend on her father. She's successful in her own right. So is it that she needs to come out and speak out? We already have Taylor Swift just came out and supported Kamala Harris. We got Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas just came out and supported Kamala Harris. And most recently, Jennifer Lopez came out and supported Kamala Harris. So maybe it's time for Miss Mamas to come out and support Kamala as well. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think that Gaga needs to come out and let it be known where she stands politically, especially with her father out here saying what he's saying, or you know what, your silence speaks volumes and people gonna come out here and call you a hypocrite. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. So Kalani says, you know, you were wrong for that. I think there's a difference between a Republican and a MAGA Trump supporter. Well, yeah, they are, but at this time, it's the lines have been kind of blurred because it's at a point that the old Reagan Republican, the ones that believe in the Reaganomics, all the other stuff, they feel like a lot of them didn't like what the GOP was doing, so they've kind of just retired or left. You know, the left politics, which is kind of bad because it's like if y'all are the old school way that y'all believe in keeping this other stuff going, y'all should be trying to fight, not let these crazy radical nut jobs come in and just take over what the Republican Party is. There are a lot of Republicans against Trump, and they've gone over to Kamala. But look, then again, you have people out here calling what, you know, the Democrats blue MAGA, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. And it's an Ice Cube slams Candace over again. Oh, child, I saw that foolishness. He even said, you was born in 1989, a baby when it was really sales huge. That's why I said she jumping in this conversation. Cone just don't know what the hell she talking about in regards to gangster rap. She's another damn grifter. Just jumps on whatever for a moment and clout because she doesn't have the support of that old network that she was on. So now she out here just grasping at straws or strands of that dry ass roots she got in them edges to try to come out with a good damn, you know, something to cling on to. And so I lost hope when we let Reagan into office. Oh, so RuPaul said that back in the day? Well, y'all let him in office. I wasn't old enough to vote back then. I'm trying to remember how old. Oh yeah, I was alive when Reagan was president. When did he become president? I have to look that up. But anyway, like I said, I'm a child of the '80s, so I was too young to vote. Now, speaking of Kundis, let's get into her. Because while she out here trying to throw shade at gangster rap, she out here also throwing shade at single mothers and the homosexuals. So let's get into that. You know, I always got to pull up a picture for dramatic effect. So Kundis Owens, a far-right media hothead and staunch supporter of former President Donald Trump, has once again sparked controversy at the expense of the queer community. When she's not busy throwing her own people under the bus to appease bigoted clear folk or throwing shade at single mothers, Kundis has now set her sights on the gay community by claiming that TikTok is turning men into homosexuals. I will play y'all the video, but I hate the sound of her damn voice. So I'm going to just read it. So it said the far-right commentator painted TikTok as a component for a bigger conspiracy involving the media, Hollywood, and the psychoanalyst aimed at manipulating American society into adopting behaviors she deems unnatural. They're not socially engineering us to do good things. This is what she said. They are making men more and more effeminate, I should say, encouraging effeminate behavior and convincing women to hate men. This is just what I see happening, and it's terrifying. Well, I think some people would question whether or not if Kundis is a real woman. Owens went on to bash single mothers who actively choose to raise their kids alone. Even in circumstances where the biological overrides the women and women are going, you know what? Suddenly I feel my biological clock ticking. I want to have a child. They are social engineering women to want to do that without men. Well, here's the thing. I don't think women should just be running around trying to look for any dick to get them pregnant just to satisfy this dumb broad. If I've been working so hard all of my 20s and into my 30s of building my career, and now I'm realizing the clock is ticking, my eggs is about to become powdered, and I need to have a child. If there is no man out there that is willing to give me what I need to get, and I'm not in a relationship because a lot of men can't handle women in strong business, powerful positions, then I'm going to go by any means necessary. And here's the thing, if I got the money and the resources, what the hell do you care? You need to be worrying about your own coin. You need to be worrying about your own man and your own dusty ass, nappy headed ass kids. That's what you need to be worrying about instead of worrying about what these other mothers is out here doing. Worry about them edges. How about that? And them ashy ass kneecaps and them elbows and that skin. Maybe you need to go take a trip over to Diddy house to that Target line, that aisle that he got, because he got a Target aisle full of damn baby oil, and use some of that. Because whoever is doing her hair and makeup need to be fired. It clearly ain't a homosexual. She probably doing that shit in the dark. Because it's giving clown show, sis. It's giving Big Apple Circus. So, it's quite pathetic that by spewing baseless stereotypical tropes is the only way for this grifter, who was able to win a settlement back in the day for racial discrimination with the help from the NAACP, can get attention in the media. TikTok is not turning people gay. Queer people aren't out here recruiting people like we're Scientologists or Jehovah's Witnesses. TikTok provides a much-needed space for people, especially young people, to express themselves freely. It also gives queer people in marginalized communities, such as myself, a place to express themselves and build an audience based on their passions. So by Kundis fixing her dingy mouth to suggest that TikTok can turn people gay, misrepresents how sexuality works and spreads misinformation. Sexual orientation isn't something that can be manipulated by an algorithm or social media content, and making such claims perpetuates harmful stereotypes of LGBTQIA+ community. Her comments are not only unfounded, but extremely harmful. Also, by Kundis suggesting that women are being encouraged to turn against men is sexist. This narrative dismisses legitimate concerns many women have about relationships, power dynamics, and gender equality. More troubling, though, is how Owens positions both gay men and women as products of manipulation, undermining their agency and identity. Her commentary is not only divisive, but it also pits groups against each other based on a distorted reality. So if TikTok is making men gay, then I guess all forms of social media has made her an insufferable coon. So I say, listen, say, sis, go back under the damn rock which you came, because nobody want this old mole person out here spewing all her damn misinformation. She works my root canal nerve. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are about this old trash box, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, you said Reagan won the 1980. Yeah, it was like I was an infant when he was around. I was like, I was not able to vote. I could not vote until I was like what? In 99, 2000, I think it was like when I was old enough to vote. 2001, one of them times. So YouTube, oh yeah, as they should, because of the crap that she was saying on social media. What policies? Exactly. All right, so let me hurry up and get into this topic. Let's get to our final topic, and then I gotta run up out of here. Let's talk about T.S. Madison, who has an upcoming idea for an all-star season. Now, you know, I love me some T.S. Madison. I love her Maddie in the Morning. I love her fag talk, but I also love her as a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. And I also, like I said before, I would love to see old boy up there as well, Laura Roche, as a new judge. I need to get rid of Ross and the other one because y'all just been phoning it in, quiet as it's kept. Maybe it's not as quiet because I've been hearing a lot of people saying it. So as for as long as Drag Race has been on the air, there have been a plethora of fans and Drag Race queens who have taken to social media to pitch ideas for an all-star season. Now media personality, actress and Grammy winner T.S. Madison recently gave her 2 cents on an all-stars idea while on the MTV VMAs red carpet. Now, while on said red carpet, Paper Magazine asked Madison her thoughts on what the franchise should do next. The 2024 VMAs were arguably the queerest ever, in part because Madison, Sasha Colby, and the queens of RPDR season 16 all showed up and showed out. Pause for a little commotion for the dress. Well, you know, this is cute, but girl, them titties is coming out that top. There was another video picture that I saw where it's like, girl, the boobs is boobing. So when asked about where she wants to see the franchise go, this is what she pitched. So I do have the clip, courtesy of Parade, over on the TikTok. So we'll get to that, and we'll roll a clip, and then we'll talk. Please hold.
The franchise should do. And even though I love the franchise because I work for them, I think that the franchise should pull together all of the former winners and do the battle for the crown for all the winners. And I'd like them to bring back Tyra Sanchez, all the girls who have been like ostracized, and I'd like to get them in a room and battle. And I think the grand prize should be $1 million. Here's what I think the franchise should do. And even though I love the franchise.
Okay, so that's what she said in regards to that. So here's my thoughts, because I had a lot of questions. I feel like that's a cute idea or whatever, but I have a lot of questions that just went unanswered. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that WoW has the tucked cojones to bring Tyra back, King Tyra, we should call her. Just like I don't think they'll ever bring Willem back for a regular All-Star season. Sharon Needles also won't be invited back over past allegations of racism and grooming. So we're not going to even see Sharon Needles come back with that. Maybe Maddie forgot about that situation, but I don't see that happening. I do think with all the money that they've been accumulating from the show that they do need to raise the grand prize higher than $200,000, plus a little money they give here and there whenever you win. $10,000, whatever the case is. They do need to raise it higher than $200K. With all the money y'all making over there from, through MTV and stuff, you can afford the $1 million, especially when the recent season of The Challenge, season 40, is giving a $1 million cash prize. So why they can't do the same thing for Drag Race? Now, as for Maddie's idea, we do need a bit more specifics as to what kind of battle. Should it be a one big Lollapalooza? Are only winners of the past season, 16 seasons allowed to compete? Or are All-Stars winners allowed to compete as well? What would this battle look like? How closely would it resemble a regular season or an All-Star season or any past season? Will there be eliminations? Will there be another non-elimination season? Or will it be another Sasha Colby season or the first all-winner season where we pretty much knew out of the gate that Sasha Colby was going to win her season and Jinx Monsoon was going to win her all-star season? So I got a lot of questions. I need to know the tea, damn it. So I just hope that, if it does end up happening, let's talk about it. It will be better than this old train wreck that we are currently sitting through, known as Global All-Stars. So we definitely need something better than that because Global All-Stars has been trash. But I will say this. this last episode with Los Javis from España, that was the best episode I have to say that I've seen. But y'all lost it for me when y'all had them lip syncing to the damn Muppets. I was like, okay, so now we got the Teletubbies popping up and the Muppets. Which one is worse? I was like, that lip sync was trash. But I did love seeing Los Javis up there during Snatch Game of Love. That was cute. And then seeing them make out at the end, how they chose each other. I was like, yeah, it was nice to play into that because they've been a couple for 12 years. So I love seeing them. And, they're great personalities. And I also love seeing, what Los Javis sound like, what was I going to say? I love hearing what they sounded like when they were speaking English. Because I never heard them with an English accent before. I was like, I forgot to put this picture up of Maddie. Hey, girl, you looking good. Hair's laid. Titties is tittying. At the whole World of Wonder situation. So yeah, there's that. So I was going to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all like this idea that T.S. Madison has put up? And what would you, not only that, but it's like, yeah, I got a lot of questions. What would y'all questions be? And also, if there was what would an idea that you would love to see in regards of All-Stars like happen and get put out there in the world for the world to see? Because I know a lot of people have their own different iterations of All-Stars that they would love to see out there on Drag Race that they have yet to tap in, like a mother and daughter season, whatever the case is, all trans season, a drag king season, whatever you want to call it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now Cleveland says she probably turned some men gay. And it said Jen and her team did something. Oh, they did? Well, hold on. Because I might have to do this real quick and then get up out of here. I don't know. I'm no longer on Instagram because they got rid of my damn page, so I have to create a whole new one, and I haven't really felt like creating one. No, bitch, I don't want to log in. So I do see it says Janet Jackson's team has issued an apology over comments she made about hearing Kamala Harris is not part Black. She deeply respects VP Kamala Harris. Janet apologizes for any confusion caused. But you know what? We'll go into it tomorrow. We'll talk about it. But DL Hughley, child, went in and read her down. Because they said that D.L. Hughley was not here for Janet Jackson saying she heard Kamala Harris is not Black. It's a little ironic to question whether someone is Black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman. Oh my God. Okay, so I got a couple of topics we're going to talk about. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Chester Bennington's mother story tomorrow. We got to talk about Usher trending on Twitter after fans noticed 7,000 tweets were deleted from his account. So there's a lot of tea that we're going to be able to talk about. Oh, you said you sent it to me. Okay, good. So I'll definitely, when I get back from doing this show tonight, because I got the final Sebastian Maniscalco show tonight. He's a big comedian. He was just on The View. This is night 5. I gotta be literally New York time 5:15 at the Garden. So I need to get my ass over there and do this final show. And then when I get home tonight, I'll just have to put together some topics so that way I can give you guys a show tomorrow. Then I gotta run back to the city and do the sweat tour. I am tired. But I'm living for the moment. You know what? This working in this entertainment business is crazy. So Tuesday and Wednesday I do have off. So I'm basically take that time to give y'all a full show where I can like give y'all everything. I mean, even though look, I'm pushing it with the time as it is, giving y'all this full-fledged show today. So I still say I really hope that y'all had a good time and I gave y'all what need to be given in regards of the show and everything, because yeah, this was the end of the show. I love you all for watching. Onyx said bullying a grieving woman is nasty word. Okay. So yeah. We got a lot of tea that I realized I got to put together and those other stuff. We'll break down the whole Usher thing tomorrow. We'll break down this thing with Janet and her post and D.L. Hughley reading her for points. That was funny, where she's breathing through the nose of a white. I can't. But anyway, I love y'all for watching. Tune in tomorrow with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I want to thank everybody that was in the comments cackling along with me, throwing the shade like we do on this show. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash the notification button if you haven't already. So that way, you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So love you all. And until next time, ciao, darlings.